Slap my ass! It's time for Conversation with the Big Guy, pal!
Welcome to Conversation with the Big Guy. I am the Big Guy Ryback, and I'm sitting here with the one, Pat Buck.
Happy to be back again on this episode, even though the last episode, listening back to that podcast, me and Eddie, the editor of this show, we talked about that. We felt bad listening back, dude, with all the mean tweets.
Yeah, that I think that was probably because of the music you guys had put in. Really made me an ultra baby face for the segment. Kind of. I mean, I was firing back also, but just a day in the life of the Big Guy.
Dude, while I was reading them, I was having fun saying some of these things, and then listening back, I'm like, oh my God, I got really sad. Me and Eddie were both texting each other, dude, imagine getting all this stuff. We both were like, man, we felt guilty. We felt very sad listening back to that episode. That's not easy, man. I don't know. I know everybody gets it, but that's a fucking...
I'm glad that it seemed like you really enjoyed doing it, though, while it was going on. Particularly because you were mad at me that episode. So you probably were really laying them in, reading them. Oh, this feels good. Reading them as yourself. And then listen to it back and he's just a regular person. No, it was... I told you when the CM Punk did that video or the podcast with Colt and all that, that is when millions of his followers hated me instantly. It just made me the ultra heel in the, whether it was right or wrong, and where it kind of carried over from there, where it amplified and whatnot. And then it gets the stories coming out from the past couple of weeks, and every opportunity they get, you know what I mean? It's just, it's no more.
So no more?
No more. It's
why? Have the fans just stopped, or the wrestling lovers just stopped tweeting you, or is there a reason to
no,
this?
I've in the different things I've talked about it from some of the different books. There was one that's on my book of the week for this week. They actually were talking about just deleting social media because it really doesn't serve a purpose outside of it's. You could still put your there's apps where you could put your content and you could still send messages and put your pictures up there, but you don't have to expose yourself to anything. And I look at it where I was just I've told you in the past, I've deleted, when I was up there with WWE, I deleted social media several times for weeks at a time, and it was the best periods for me because you just live life and there's good and bad. So for every 20 good comments, there's one bad one, but it's all kind of empty. I don't need those good comments either. I know who and what I am. I know what I'm doing. Sure, it always feels good to hear nice things. At the same time, you don't need to, essentially you're opening the gates of hell for the lowest of low creatures to reach you and to impact you. And if you read those, it's funny and you laugh, but people telling you, oh, you're a piece of shit, you should die, you fucking faggot, or just whatever. And these are things on a regular basis.
Oh, I read them, sure.
I mean, and there's a lot worse ones out there, and people, it's just, you're like, why am I going to even, what's the point of, I don't need to hear that. I know who and what I am, and I'm happy with myself. So I would rather be able to help people and put my content out there, put positive stuff out there, and promote my business and whatnot, and just not be exposed to that. Snapchat is my main social media now because I could simply put my content out there, follow the few people that I follow, and nobody can send you anything and tell you that they hope you die, a miserable death and this and that. And I
so
highly
you're still
recommend
going to use Twitter or not going to use Twitter? Twitter's done for?
It's off my phone. And so when I say deleted, I didn't delete my accounts. Okay. What this book recommended is just deleting them off your phone. And because if you look at, we all essentially, the phones, emails, the alerts on our phone, notifications, it triggers the same thing in our minds, like that gambling, that you get that euphoric high from when you put money into a slot machine and you pull the handle. There's something similar to that addiction where we get addicted to our phones, and it's not the same thing as gambling, obviously, because you're not losing money, but it's constantly going to your phone, going to your phone, going to your phone. And when you delete it off your phone, it changes. I'm telling you, it changes everything. It is. I highly recommend everybody try it, even if just for a day, and just see how much simpler life is. And you just don't have to. It's just a technique. You don't have to do it permanently. It's just something to just get away and live life, man.
Yeah, but I mean, not everyone else is getting, you suck, rotten hell messages too. Do you mean that for regular people?
Yeah,
or no?
regular people too, because everyone I've talked to on this. So let me say you wake up and you go and you get a 3-hour training session in, you go tanning, you go eat in a nice restaurant, you go shoot some guns, go lay out by the pool for a little bit, go to a nice dinner, you come back and you maybe walk your dogs, and you're sitting there and you're just looking at everything on social media and you're like, man, everybody's doing all this other cool stuff. I'm a real piece of shit. Really, I'm telling you, it just kind of, you're comparing your one life to the millions and millions and millions of people out there. And this is, again, other just things that I've read. It's just, I think the negatives outweigh the positives. And I think it's just getting, I don't know. I would rather just live life and not concern myself with everything else going on. And it's not the people necessarily. It's not like just all the negative things, and it's just all of it in general. I don't want to be on my phone all the time and whatnot.
Yeah, but what about your big resurrection of MySpace and Tout? Does that?
Well, that's where I've gone. If people want to follow me, they can find me. I just downloaded the Tout app the other day. I'm going to start putting out some amazing content on that, and only allow the positive people into MySpace. But it's. I use like my Buffer app that I could go and put all my content on and put out my messages and whatnot and just leave it at that. And it's amazing you break that habit of, because I would go on and like stuff and retweet stuff because you try to engage in social media, but then you're exposing yourself to just all of it and you're wasting time. I just hate wasting time, and I don't know. It was just best decision I've made in a long time.
Okay, so you've retired pretty much, essentially, from social media.
I got a big announcement later on we have the Big Guys Court in the main event.
Yes.
I have a huge announcement at the end of that.
Okay.
Yeah, which I think is it's big, Pat.
All right. What else we have going on this week? How's your week?
Good. I got the little guy, the puppy. He's growing in front of my very eyes. He's in his crate right now. But him and Sophie, they tear the house up as far as their toys, and he's a smart little dog. He figured out how to go in and out of the doggy door on his own. Never even had to show him. He still shits inside. I just picked up 2 piles of shit before we did the podcast. So
always good.
But he goes piss outside pretty much all the time. But he likes to shit inside a little bit. So we're still working on that one. But great week of training. I'm leaving for Australia here this week, so it's.
Are you nervous?
I was. I'm in shape. I wish I still, because I've been doing, like today I did 75 burpees and 40 box jumps. I just keep adding more and more. I will be doing, like tomorrow's 100. Are you doing 2 training sessions I've been doing,
a day
like,
now, or
conditioning separate than from the weight training, like where I did.
So you'll go like. How many hours in the gym?
I'm probably there for 2.5, 3 hours the first earlier in the day, early afternoon, and I'll usually do like the elliptical after, just to burn some calories, and then I do my hard conditioning and like at home at night, either burpees or like today I did my burpees at the gym, but like yesterday I did my jump rope and assault bike, just endless set after set after set, and to try to break it up, because that's the hard conditioning's. I like doing it all at once usually, but I'm at the gym for a long time because I got to do a lot of shoulder stuff right now, stretching and everything to get my flexibility. And I've had my ART massage therapist, stretch therapist, Bliss Stretch here in Vegas, work on me. She's coming back out on Sunday. I put a snap out though. She does this thing. Have you heard of cupping?
Yeah, I have. I saw I worked a show with Low Key, and he was getting put on his old suit thing, and he had bruises all over him. And I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, you're right. Yeah. He's like, yeah, it's cupping. And I had no idea what it was, and he explained it, but you could probably explain it a little bit better.
No, it looks like an alien contraption when you put them on. It looks like almost like octopus Like
Yeah.
it's really creepy looking, and but there's different ones. There's ones that you like. Essentially, she puts them on you, and they suck into your skin, but they stretch your skin and they pull all the blood to the surface. It's just kind
Okay.
of, but there's other ones that you can move around on your body with the oil, and it's just like moving the blood around where you need it.
And what does that do?
It
Just kind of alleviates pain?
Yeah, and creates new blood flow in there and pulls new fresh blood into the areas that are bothering you, and it helps. It stretches the muscle really good too. Like she'll be doing it and like stretching my arm over my head in different positions. It like helps just get kinks out. It feels great. I love it now. At first I was like, that seems like one of those gimmicks. I'm not really sold on it. And she goes, just try it.
Yeah.
And I tried it once, and I have bruises all over my back. They last for like anywhere 3 to 5 days. Like purple suction marks on your skin. But it's good, man. So I'm getting all that done, and I'll do a couple matches in Australia. I don't know do you know who I'm working over there?
You know, they gave me the names of it, and I was familiar with one guy, but I really couldn't tell you, to be honest with you. I'm not doing my job very well. Although I have brought it up to every promoter from this point on, except for Big Mike, who always has to fucking fight me on ideas, that, maybe we can have better match. I think
I want to wrestle
you've
the best
wrestled
wrestlers.
You want the best wrestlers, and you don't want to be kind of pigeonholed with, hey, let me wrestle the local big man. You know?
I don't want to do the attraction matches anymore, Pat. I'm burnt out on attraction matches, a big guy versus big guy. Especially right now. I would rather, like Cody does a really good job at selecting opponents. It's
Sure.
I think we need to be just like Flip Gordon. I want to wrestle Flip. I think that would be a fun matchup. And it's just things like that, and two different styles, and I think we could do a lot of cool things. And there's a lot of guys out there, a ton of them. But and the big guys are all great. Everything's been fine, but it's especially right now, my body, just give it a little time coming back, and let me get a guy I could arm drag around in there a little bit. And
I heard you're wrestling AR Fox on an upcoming show.
That's for you, isn't it?
That's for me. Yeah, September 9th.
I met him before. So what's the deal with because
You've never heard?
he's a big Ryback fan. Is that correct?
Yeah. And like people thought, apparently in PWG, people thought Fox was like, he wasn't doing, when you were at your, doing your thing up there, like he was a genuine fan. Like he really does.
Yeah.
Like he's not doing it to mock or whatever. He was doing the whole Feed Me More thing in
really?
PWG. Like he was, that's where it all came from apparently.
Okay.
My good friend, Robbie Fox, who hosts a podcast for Barstool, he was the one that was like, "Hey, man, you got to book this match." I'm not against it, but why? He goes, "Well, here's the background, and he's a big fan of his, and he used to do his stuff in PWG. And when I hit up Fox, he thought I was kidding with him. He was like,
That's pretty
He's
funny.
like, really? I was like, yeah, like so. But I was like, also, it's interesting. It's going to be a good match, and it's appealing on all levels. So I was like, fuck it, do it. So
I'm looking
September 9th.
I'm looking forward to that. That's I met him. I was on the road, and he was in, I don't know if it was Philadelphia or somewhere back east. And I was checking out of the hotel to go eat and work out in the morning. And there was a guy at the other hotel across the street, and the parking lots were like connected. And when you can like just see another person, like, oh, that guy's pretty jacked. And he was like wearing like a sleeveless shirt. And the guy,
wait.
wait.
I would love if you could look from a parking lot far away. You're like, oh man, guy has good arms, and you just get into the restaurant.
Yeah. that's the story. Yeah. And it wasn't.
That guy looks pretty
it wasn't
good.
AR Fox. It was just a guy. Yeah, he's jacked. And I went and had breakfast and went about with my business as usual. No, but I'm putting my bags in my trunk, and this car pulls up behind me, and it's AR Fox. That was the guy with I don't know if it was his girlfriend at the time or anything like that, but and we got out and talked for a little bit, and he was a really nice guy. So it was
cool, man.
It was. I'm looking forward to that. It'll be fun.
Very cool. Before we got a couple things that happened this week, but before we get to it, let's keep the little structure going. I believe it's your turn for Song of the Week and our old plugs.
Well, since we were talking about the mean tweets and all these people just being so mean to me, and it's summer. We're heading into August here. And you picked a nice summer song last week. I like "Summertime Sadness" by Lana Del Rey.
Your fucking choice of music sometimes, man. It's
What's wrong with that?
Do you like that song? Is this on your workout tunes?
Yeah. I have everything from heavy metal to then the Titanic love theme. Like it's
Sure.
a wide array of a little Chris Isaac on there. There's a lot.
Ah, Wicked Game.
Wicked Game. That was my Tampa song driving over the bridge. I'd always put that on. Just cry.
I could cry about your life.
I
gotta wear this cowboy
yeah,
hat.
I'm pretending to be a goddamn fucking cowboy from College Station, and I've never even been there. I'm just a fucking fraud. I'll never forget. I was sitting. This was when I was, I think, during the whole Shield run with them. That whole period, we were sitting in a. It was at one of the gyms before the live event, and it was just me and Ambrose sitting inside of a sauna. And I always would put music on my headphones, but you know how if you have them on loud,
you can hear
them. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Chris Isaac, Wicked Game, is playing really loud, and I'm just sitting there, and Dean's just hearing the whole thing, and he goes, we got out later, and he goes, Dean's like a real character. He's just kind of quiet, but he's like, man, never would have pictured in a million years of sitting in a sauna with Ryback listening to Wicked Game. It was like, yeah, man, I like a lot of different kinds of music. He goes, no, it's cool. But it was he was probably a little disturbed by it.
Like the whole song.
Yeah.
You're just stone faced, both you guys sweating, and he's looking at you. That's
doing my little head rock like it's
God.
my theme music, but it's Wicked Game. Just trying to play it off like I'm rocking out, but just internally crying my soul through my skin. Oh, all right, guys. For all fan mail, please send it to P.O. Box 752-740, Las Vegas, Nevada 89136. Feed Me More Nutrition is available at Spartan Nutrition here in North Las Vegas. FeedMeMore.com, I'llPumpYouUp.com, and on Amazon with free Prime shipping. Wake Up, It's Feeding Time, the motivational book by the big guy Ryback Reeves, available on Amazon. Feed Me More merch on Amazon. Link is at FeedMeMore.com. And Fuel Meals, the personal meal prep service of myself. Save 10% with discount code THEBIGGUY. Feeding Time 2.0, the official theme song of the big guy Ryback on The Independents, available on iTunes. And Holosync Meditation, available on FeedMeMore.com. This podcast conversation with the big guy, please share and review. Let's keep it growing, guys. And the official Facebook for Feed Me More Nutrition is at Feed Me More Nutrition. The Twitter at CWTBG. And I'm in Australia this week, and August 5th and 6th. I believe the Wollongong, I should have had the thing. I didn't have it written down this week. I'm in Wollongong, and they're on my Facebook site, though, the appearances, the wrestling matches and appearances this week, August 5th and 6th in Australia. So if you're out there, I know we have a lot of listeners out there, too. Hopefully, hopefully you guys can come on out. And somebody actually from Australia put a order in on FeedMeMore.com, and for some stuff, I got to get that out for them tomorrow, actually. So,
wait, so you mail shit to Australia?
Yeah, we have international shipping on there. It's international shipping is a lot more than domestic, so it's
sure.
That's why we're trying to get all this stuff worked out on Amazon. Canada is going to be a problem with the supplements because they require completely different labels. From what we're understanding, Canada's really weird on some of this, but.
And so are the people.
Yeah,
Sorry.
You always say weird Canadians. That's always I love Canadians, so I try to say, Pat, they're people too. No, the UK, we're working on that still. I think I got to get a P.O. box out there for the company so that, and they require on the labels rather than dietary supplements, they want it to say food supplements. But what you could do is put stickers on the labels and that covers it. But I got to get registered with the Food and Drug Administration, whatever their FDA is over there. So now we're doing that right now. So that it's going to be in the UK eventually because the label thing isn't an issue over there. But it's just a lot of work and just getting all that soon enough.
As for me, I will be wrestling. Impact released their their cards for August 4th and August 5th in Staten Island and St. James. I will be on those shows. And the following week, an NYPD fundraiser on Thursday, August 10th. Get tickets for that at WrestleProOnline.com. And a lot of people ask, well, how can I watch WrestlePro footage? And you can do that at our friends at TitleMatchWrestlingNetwork.com. That's all of my footage goes. They're a great company. They've got the biggest collections of wrestling footage anywhere, all of the WrestlePro events, shoot interviews, women's matches, death matches. You can watch it free from listening to this podcast for 2 weeks. Sign up at TitleMatchWrestlingNetwork.com. All the stuff I've done, all the stuff Ryback's done is going to be on there, and check them out. And that's all I got.
Is it just the highlights of people beating the shit out of me, like on the Brian Cage one where whoever did that, it was just all highlights of him?
Well, you got one move in, and he got 8 or 9.
They just showed me doing the cannonball, but they cut away. They were just filming him the whole time. Him in the corner. It wasn't even me. You don't even see the full cannonball. That was it. And I was like, oh, thanks, guys.
That's amazing. There was one time where I had so this is like 2010. It was after OVW. And this guy hit me up on, dude, I don't know if it was MySpace. It might have been. It was MySpace. MySpace was still a thing, okay. I think. And he's like, and I think I put a message out there or something. He goes, hey, I'm a video editor, and I have all of your matches from OVW. And I said, oh, that's cool, man. I was like, can you put like a reel together? Because I don't have a lot of my stuff on tape from OVW. And he goes, yeah, sure, I'll do that for you. And he goes, would you mind if, hey, I don't want to ask for money, but this will take a lot of time. I go, no problem. What's fair? Like $50? He goes, yeah, $50. So I actually sent him $50. I think I don't remember how I sent it. It might have been PayPal. It might have been Western Union. It was something like that. Anyway, he sends me he's like, hey, I made this really good reel of all your matches and stuff. And it was just, dude, it was hot. The whole fucking thing was me getting my ass kicked.
Oh, man.
Everything was taking moves from everybody. And I go, dude, you put the matches on there correctly, but you just showed me for like 4 minutes getting the shit kicked out of me. Like, that doesn't look too cool. And he goes, well, you sold it really well. I go, yeah, but I'm like sending that out. Like, that's, you don't really do that. That kind of, even though this is predetermined fake bullshit, like, I can't just send shit out like where I'm just getting the shit kicked out of me for 4 minutes straight, and then he never gave me my money back and he disappeared.
Well,
so I got ripped
off. It would be good if you're just you're getting hired as an enhancement talent everywhere. Look, man, I could really put people over. Like, that's the perfect fucking video to send. I thought you were going to say when he was discussing what he wanted from you, just going by past stories, I thought it was going to be like, yeah, I just need you in a room jerking off for a few minutes. Just send me a tape. And I can just another Pat Buck story. That's something you did to get the footage. Then he gave you really shitty footage on top of it. Oh, man.
So this week we had some stuff, I don't know. We're not really much of a review show, but Battleground happens. I don't know if there's anything. I don't know if you saw it. I didn't see all of it. I saw bits and pieces, but I don't know if that's worth covering as far as what happened this week, because stories stemmed out of that we do want to talk about.
I watched the entire Battleground. I'm trying to go back and think of the matches as I was. I know, but I enjoyed. Again, it's just. I enjoyed it. It was. I know everybody there, the majority of people there, and. They always do a great job on everything and whatnot. So I don't know what. I remember I messaged you during the Nakamura Baron Corbin match, and the crowd just seemed really flat for that one. That was like
because they were in Philly, correct?
I don't know.
I think so, right? I believe they were in Philly, and to be in front of a Philly crowd and have them be so rather checked out is kind of a surprising thing. But like I've paid attention to what people have said about, or people with a lot of opinions towards Nakamura, and a lot of people think, I don't agree with this whatsoever, but a lot of people, their opinions that he's like failing in a way, and I just think that they utilized him in a way. I don't think it's anything he's done, but that I don't think he's connecting. I don't think it's his fault necessarily, but I don't know, man. I don't know how to kind of put it into words. What people are they're not proud of Nakamura for some reason. It's like a disconnect.
I don't know. Again, a crowd could be flat at any point. You never know how what they've seen. I can't remember what was before that and whatnot, or if it's just it happens. And I mean, and don't get me wrong. When I say flat, they're still cheering him and stuff, but not.
Sure.
It wasn't as loud as what you would probably would hope for. But he's doing a great job. But I think it's tough. I don't know. He doesn't speak great English, and when you're appealing, again, it's kids and families on top of the two sweeter tweeters. It's more than just them. We've talked about this. So,
but they're the ones that are actually going like, he's not. I've seen it and I've heard it on other podcasts and other shows.
Oh, really?
Like, he's not performing at the level. It's like he's been performing at the same level for a long time, and it's just fine. I think that they put him in a bad spot where I think he was drastically overhyped.
Okay.
Where there was almost like no way to deliver on whatever. I also think by having him speak and by having him, like, I just feel like he was almost overhyped and put in a bad position. Not in a bad position because he's on TV and he's doing well and he gets wins. But having him speak on certain things, not his strong suit, I do think there's a huge disconnect from the audience. I think that, like, a lot of fans, like, watch him and doing his all weird gyrations, and it's hard for a person that doesn't know him to go, man, I don't know if I really want to cheer for this guy.
Yeah.
I don't know if I care. And I think it's a big problem that they're facing. It's not the worst thing in the world, but I think that's where all this criticism comes from.
Yeah, again, the only thing, he hasn't been up there that long, so it's just time, and maybe they'll figure out find his niche and, like, the way to use him more effectively. Everything he's doing is fine. It's just in its storylines. He has a big match coming up with John this week, which should be with Cena, I think, on SmackDown coming up.
Yeah.
That should be
right.
interesting to see how they work together and what they do and the kind of stuff. I'm sure they'll have John always is given ample amount of time to go out there and perform and whatnot. So it's his theme song. I know he has a catchy theme song, and it just takes time. I remember good old Double A, Arn would always say it takes. And again, this is you can for the WWE universe or their audience. So you take out the people that know him from his other stuff, and people are seeing him for the first time. It takes a good year and a half of being on TV for them to, like, recognize you as a TV star almost. Where it's and there's always some truth to that. Like, as far as
I get that. I mean, how long has he been up there? 6 months, maybe? Is that what it is?
Maybe,
Royal
yeah,
Rumble?
maybe. Right? I don't even know if that. So it's it just takes time for people to get acquainted and seeing you over and over again, and then let that process play out. So I think he's doing great, but he doesn't the English thing obviously isn't. That's tough. I can't imagine having to go to another country and trying to learn that language and communicate effectively and going over to Japan and speaking Japanese. You know, that's a tough fucking thing to do. So he's doing the best he can, I'm sure.
One thing I thought that was interesting from Battlegrounds. Well, we did predict weeks ago.
You predicted this. This is all you.
I just
money on this.
I would have liked someone on fucking Twitter to give me a little bit of cred. I was like, Jesus, like, I just thought Punjabi Prison, hey, that makes sense. They bring Kali back, maybe because he's so established in India and as an enforcer again and it fucking happens. He climbed the cage.
When you said that, said there's no way. When he comes down, he can't climb the thing, and he proved me wrong. He didn't go all the way up. He got up there just enough. And he wasn't wearing the independent Kali, Biz Cash. He was.
I wish he was. I wish he was dressed just like a Singh brother, just bigger.
I don't know why that would just wearing some big fucking khakis and a Hawaiian shirt and just comes down and just choking Randy in the cage and some nice dress shoes. Man, that would have made my day. No, but Kali, I don't know. Was he back with him? I don't know if he was back with him on TV this week. It might have just been a one-time thing.
I don't know, actually. We should do our due diligence, but I swear I didn't watch. I watched half of SmackDown. Forgive me, I was actually fucking wrestling in a ring that night, teaching people. And then I just haven't watched it, so I really don't know. So maybe he's back. I would assume they would get more out of that, not just or maybe not. Maybe it is just a one-off.
You think do a spinoff with Randy Khali next at SummerSlam?
But I wonder what kind of I gave Khali a deposit, and then I had him on a show coming up. I'll openly admit this.
I love the great Khali, but he's a sweet human being. But I've always gotten along with him really good.
I just know it's a little bit difficult to communicate sometimes. He did independent shows, and some I heard he did very well with, and other ones not so much. So I gave a deposit, and it just wasn't working budget-wise for the show. So I had a couple of shows coming up where I was actually going to reach out and be like, hey, Khali would be an appropriate fit for this sold event here or there. And then I saw that he's back, and I was like, oh, God, he still has my deposit. So I don't think I'm getting that back, but... maybe next time he isn't on an independent wrestling scene, I'll have a Khali appearance.
Unless it was a one-time thing, it might work out for the better. You get that rub again from them, another appearance up there, and maybe get to a nice little turnout for you. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see.
But I thought, trying to think of the different matches on it. I know who I'm really happy for is Naomi. I've known her from Florida Championship Wrestling, and she's always been just a sweetheart and just a good human being. And she wasn't always used in the best fashion for a while up there. And they were bringing other divas up and other girls and whatnot. Mm-hmm. And she kind of was on the back burner a little bit. And it's good. Like finally she has the whole glow thing going. And I think, does she have the championship? They made her a.
Yep.
So like that's a big deal to be able to get that as part of your thing. And I'm happy for her because she's one of the good human beings up there. So that's there's a lot of good human beings up there, I'm saying, but she's always just been a good human being, and she works hard. So I'm proud of her having success, and I hope she has a long run as champion.
Great. Other things taken away from that, I noticed there was like a Twitter backlash after. Like, this was mind-blowing to me. I mean, we speak about stuff like this all the time, but to see it affect like someone behind the scenes, where the stuff with Road Dogg, I think you know what I'm talking about.
Oh, you didn't know?
With people were hashtagging, fire Road Dogg for not liking the show. I thought that was nauseating.
Wrestling fans complaining? What do you? I mean,
yeah, I know.
If it doesn't matter who and what you are. It's at every level. I don't know what didn't they like about it.
I don't know. I saw a couple things like, it's about time. I think we should all admit it's time to fight. Like, dude, it's a person's fucking job. Like, SmackDown is primarily relatively really decent. It's a well-run show, and you don't like the pay-per-view, and you want this guy's livelihood to go away. Like,
well, they don't understand getting someone fired. They're all unemployed, Pat. They don't get it. They they live at home, and they're like, they don't understand. So that no, I saw some of that going on, and I sent him a thing through the buffer after JD actually messaged me telling me all about it, and I said, "Get the fuck out of here!" Just everything. I was like, Road Dogg's a great guy. I've always gotten along with him really, really well. He's funny too, and he's having the drug addiction and having that whole thing and going through his trials and tribulations, and like he overcame all of that, and he sits at a very high position in a huge company, and he has a lot of responsibility, and I think the shows have been better than they have in a long time. Everything, and if not, it's fake fucking fighting. What do you want from it? It's never been great. Like, if you go back and look, if you look throughout, they'll come every once in a while. They'll hit a home run on something,
sure,
and the rest of it's kind of there, and it is what it is. But why would you want to get somebody fired? Like, goddamn, grow the fuck up. He should delete social media too. Not even. It doesn't matter. You know who you're doing. You go, social media Nikki, get the fuck over here. What's everybody talking about this week? Well, the consensus is maybe the most people didn't seem to like this. Okay, we'll maybe address that and go on. Fuck everybody else and keep doing what you're doing. Like, people are going to bitch and whine and complain about anything they can, and they now have an outlet and a platform to do that with no accountability. So people would rather be offended and complain and be miserable than just be happy and live life. And fuck. Do you ever remember watching wrestling? I remember watching it as a kid and just never hating thing, like just loving it. I just enjoyed watching it. And there were guys I liked more than others, but I never hated anybody like as a person, or where I was like, man, I really hope he fucking dies tonight. It never, I just watch, and I don't connect with these people that are so opinionated on all these different things on how wrestling should be and what I don't get it, and I never will. Just watch it and shut the fuck up.
Yeah, I never thought about that like at all before. Like, oh man, this show is just, everyone watches wrestling from a performance standpoint. Like whether, I don't know, it's not even worth talking about anymore. But someone left wrestling. This I thought was really cool. It was in the news this week, or the fake wrestling news this week. But it's a real story that Davey Richards is pretty much wrapping up his career. He left Global Force and he's going to become he's going to med school. He's going to become a doctor. He's an EMT right now. I just thought that was a really tremendous thing to actually be a quote guy on television doing his thing and going, you know what? I'm going to be a doctor. I'm going to do this. I thought that was pretty awesome.
He's been doing both for a while now, right? Going to school and everything and still performing, and which is no easy task doing that.
Yeah, he has. I know he's an EMT, so that does require like a certain level of schooling, and probably I'm assuming an EMT is like kind of a 2-year program, but it probably gives you the prerequisite, because there was a time too, maybe I made the wrong decision where I was kind of weighing my options. I got accepted to a medical program where I could either go back to school and become a physician's assistant, which I wanted to do, kind of like underneath the doctor level, or I could run a wrestling show, and I ran a wrestling show. But
I picture you as Fokker from Meet the Parents as a male nurse. Going around in there, just you have a real gentle touch. Just
nurses make great money, dude.
They absolutely they do. They help people. That is not a position to be ashamed of. I just instantly thought of Fokker, Greg Fokker, when you just said you going to medical school. I love the stories of the uprising of Pat Buck and just all the different things, and it's great.
Worn a lot of hats. But
congratulations,
Davey,
though. Yeah, that's a great accomplishment.
Because you just, it sets you up. What I think what fans really disconnect with is, and maybe this is a reason why a lot of are so angry. I think a lot of fans watch and they just automatically assume you're on TV, you're a multimillionaire, and everything's great. I think that's a thing. I really do. There's
some that know the reality of it, and then there's others that think that you're set for life and this and that, and it's just because I've seen both sides of it. So as far as what people think on that, and they think that you're just making hundreds of millions of dollars, or you know what I mean, because you're on TV. They don't understand the logistics of everything. So it's he's making a smart choice, I would say. I think he's still going to wrestle a little bit, probably. I would imagine, or is he going to?
Yeah. I guess if the bookings come up and they don't go again, it's hard when you become a doctor, because you have to eventually, you go through serious schooling all the time, and then you have to do a residency where you're basically, you're working 70 hours a week.
Yeah. Really
trying to claw it out. Once you become a doctor, it's not an easy thing. It's not like you all of a sudden make a ton of money. You gotta kind of pay your dues again. And he's doing it, I think he's in his mid 30s and or early 30s. I'm not really sure. But it's something, honestly, to this day, I still think about. Do I want to do this, or do I want to go down that path? I legit have thought about it, at least, especially seeing him do it. It hit home for me. I'm still thinking about it. Like, I don't know.
Oh, really?
I don't, if you really think about this, like, it's,
you got to look ahead. You got to look into the later years I see what you're saying with all this. I see it completely. You're looking at the bigger picture, especially when you have a family involved and whatnot. Wrestling takes up a lot of time. It's very time consuming, especially for you, with you're in charge of so many different things on different aspects of it. So,
and it's like when you work for yourself, and you can attest to this, you can't really like check out. You can't just like, 9 to 5 happens, I'm good, and like. You can enjoy your hours away because your brain doesn't have to process any worry about work. You may have 1 or 2 tasks at work, but like I'm just tired, dude. I'm like, I got my ring rentals this weekend. I got 2 birthday parties I booked. I got 12 shows between September and January.
Whoa.
I'm doing a lot of shit, man. I'm doing it all myself. I got the billboard up. I'm training guys 3 days a week. I'm doing all your stuff. We're doing the podcast. I'm going, fuck, I'm tired. But
Yeah.
I still like it. I'm very blessed. But I think about it sometimes, like maybe it'd be fun to be a normal job or a nice normal job.
The first thing that comes to my mind, and I think we've talked about this a little bit, especially you in your position, is using your tools around you that you have and designating the right appropriate people into the right positions.
Sure.
But getting that hone in on that, fine tune that, where you can free up more of your time to do the things you need to do that would help you to continue to grow, essentially. And I think that if you could figure out the right, which you already have pieces in place for different things,
but very blessed.
But maybe fine tuning it even more where you could free up a little more time. Because I know, like you said, the drives, that would kill me doing the drives back and forth, go to the training school and you're getting stuck in traffic. And when you're stuck in traffic, I mean, you could throw on a podcast, throw on an audio book, but you can't get shit done in your car all the time. So you kind of pigeonhole yourself on that, where maybe if you have people that do the training and you don't have to get there all the time, which is a hard thing to get in place. So, and there's a lot of trust that goes into that. So, where you could better use your time. If you could free up 3 hours a day or 4 hours a day, that's a big difference,
Huge.
But I get what you're saying on the work. I'm constantly, even if I sit down for a second and I'm doing something with Amazon, I'm doing an email here on this, and then taking a break for a little bit and it's just you're constantly just doing stuff. But it's a good thing. It's a good problem to have, but at the same time, you need your breaks.
Absolutely. One person that also works for himself that I want to talk about. I sent you the video about this week. I'm trying to segue. This was a terrible segue. Grim, our buddy Grim, who, for those that don't know who Grim is, Grim at one point was training to be a wrestler. Not exactly a blue chip athlete. A little bit on the heavier side. He'll openly admit that. But he's had some training. But he
has had training.
He has training. Yeah.
Okay.
Because I know.
Where did Grim train at? Do you know?
I don't know, and he should probably get his money back from that person. No, I'm kidding. I love
Grim. I've met him, I think, twice. He's a very nice guy.
I'm just ball busting him. So he segued though and created a career for himself with this YouTube show. He has hundreds of thousands of views on every episode.
Yeah.
Kids are obsessed with this Grimm's Toy Show. He's a real nice guy and a good guy, and he does independent shows and he wrestles in matches and
kids
has
like
a good
him,
time.
Though, yeah.
Kids love him. The biggest attended Creative Pro show that we've ever had in Long Island for my school was the one Grim was on.
Really?
If that goes to show. Yeah. Granted, we ran smaller shows. We're going to run bigger ones coming up, but the highest pre-sale was just kids going to the shows, literally telling their parents, "I need to be here." I saw that.
The Pee Wee Herman of wrestling. Before the masturbation incident.
But I saw it myself. I was like, this is kind of, because I see pre-sale for my show. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. But the amount of responses, it was basically like, hey, my son keeps bothering me to go to this show.
Yeah.
Can you? And it worked out well. So anyway, Grim does a lot of bookings in the New Jersey area or all over. And he wrestled on a show, and you could see in the crowd, this video's on YouTube. You can look it up on his, whatever. And he's wrestling in an independent show, which it's a very small venue. I mean, it looks like it's someone's fucking basement, to be honest with you. It's so tiny.
Yeah, you sent me the clip, actually. I did see this.
And you can see, Grim's wrestling a person. He wins the match or loses the match, I forget. And kids are in the front row having a good time. And you see these two guys go in the ring, and one fucking legit punches Grim as hard as he could. Sucker punches him.
Yeah, and it didn't phase him, by the way.
Grim got rocked and shook it off, and I think he was in shock because Grim doesn't strike me as a guy that's probably been in a lot of fights before.
Well,
and
I figured that when he threw a working glom after that.
yeah, he did get up and he threw the old elbow.
It was a glom. He glommed him in the back. And I was like, what the fuck are you doing? Grim, punch him in the fucking face.
I wish he should have just got it because he was way bigger than them. He just should have beat the piss out of them.
Just snapped and just tore them apart. That would have been that video would have had 20 times the amount of views if it's just Grim snapping and beating the shit out of these two guys.
Grim murders a guy in front of all these kids. But he was so. It looked like a wrestling run-in, but the punch was like, it was a shoot punch. And the other one, they beat up his opponent too, and they gave him a power bomb. It was a shoot power bomb.
This is why I told you I didn't know if it was real or not, because
it was weird.
They power bomb.
We're gonna fuck these guys up. What do you want to do? Well, I'm gonna punch the guy right in the jaw. What are you gonna do? I'm gonna power bomb.
Who the fuck? This is why I think the punch on him though. You just watch it back. You're like that. There's no unless that is the greatest working punch thrown, known to man. It was. I mean, you could tell it looks like he fucking nails Grim. But I mean, you power bomb a guy? That I don't. I mean, that's something I would do in a street fight, but not in. Clearly, though, have the guy worn down first. No, you do that to a guy, and you'd kill a guy if you did that on cement. You would fucking kill him. That is not something anybody should ever fucking do. But in a ring, I don't understand. What was the reasoning for that?
Okay, so the reasoning
is did the guy sell it? I can't remember.
It was so confusing because apparently it looks like a run-in, but Grim and his opponent don't know that this is happening. So Grim gets socked in the face, and you can see he's like, "What the fuck?" Again, look at this on YouTube. And then Grim gets up and kind of throws like a glom back. You can tell he's pissed off.
Yeah,
but he's also probably rocked. And he's also he really laid it in there.
Yeah, he laid it in. Just brother, fucking stop.
But you can tell Grim's probably more like surprised, like, what the fuck just happened? Did you mean to like, and what do you do in that situation? I've seen it happen to wrestlers before where they get taken advantage of and then they're so shocked by it. What you should do is just beat the shit out of someone. That's what you should do. But, it was new to him. Tough position. So, but the other guy's getting power bombed. So
Grim watching on as the guy gets power bombed. Which again, though, if that was not, this is 100% real, those guys. I mean, that is you could really fuck a guy up power bombing him in the ring if you snap him down hard and bring him on his. You can kill it. I mean, didn't Great Khali actually kill a guy, give him a power bomb? And granted, he's 7 feet tall, but if you drop and actually snap him down, if you did it as hard as you could, you can kill a human being with the impact of the head to the damage.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, that is a really, really fucking dumb thing to do. Outside of being unprofessional on top of that. Just
no. So here's a story. So, and these guys cut a promo, and Grim is pissed off after, and he kind of yells something to the camera. But
he walks off, I believe. He was the better of the. He just got the fuck out of there because that could be handled in the back.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he got out of there, and then these guys cut a promo basically saying this is why they did it. They look at Grim as if, and I don't know these guys, and mind you, I do my homework and I know who everyone is. That's my job to know who people are in independence. I know. Yeah. Granted, I didn't catch all of SmackDown. I didn't watch all of Battlegrounds, but I know who people are, good, bad, and different on independent wrestling. It's my job, and I'm a mark. So like, I don't know who these two guys are. They're in Jersey. They're dressed in like street clothes, and their whole mindset is that Grim's an embarrassment to wrestling, and how dare him actually be on wrestling shows.
Wrestling is an embarrassment to wrestling. they got it all mixed up, but keep going.
If you really look at the premise too, like it looks like it's in someone's basement pretty much, and these guys dressed in shorts. I don't know if one was wearing flip flops. They were wearing they just looked like dudes that were playing basketball, like kind of a skinny, muscular kid, not even, and just basically saying how embarrassing it is, and he doesn't deserve to be in the ring, and I'm like, wait, so these fucking guys were planning in the back, like, all right, man. We're just going to beat the shit out of this guy. Like let's fuck him up and cut a promo.
They didn't even do a good job at it. They only threw one punch. And then they threw
that's true.
That was the game plan, one punch and a power bomb?
That's it,
That
man.
was the master fucking plan?
They're going to get some heat. Or maybe we're wrong here. Maybe they weren't mad at that. Maybe they just go, we just do this one thing and then the internet's going to fucking really talk about us. That could have been it too.
I told you that. That was my whole thing, that everyone was in on it and that they're just looking to get a little, get a video going viral and everyone talking. And because Grimm, I'm telling you, he was not fazed by that punch. He could have been shocked by it. But there's just how it didn't escalate after that because he's in the ring with the two guys. And it's, I don't know if they realize that, oh man, he didn't get fazed by our fucking punch. Like, what do we do to him? And we can't power bomb him. He's too big. So they don't.
But they would have to be way too good of actors that like the awkwardness in between when he throws like the glom and kind of they back off and kind of stare at each other.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I believe it was 100% real. I really do. I messaged him after. I was like, "Are you all right?" He's like, "I'm pissed off." I'm like, "Man, if you want to team up, man, we'll put him in the cage." He's like, "Let's beat the shit out of him." I'm like, "Whatever you want to do," because I felt bad for the guy. I mean, it's unprofessional as fuck. Like you can't, I'm like in my head of Grimm, you should beat the shit out of him, but like you can't like. What Grimm's got a fucking? I'm pretty sure Grimm has a family. I'm not positive, but I know he at least has a wife. What if he would have dropped dead there?
I feel like he would have to have kids to make videos for kids. No?
I would hope so. Yeah,
Otherwise, this is getting more like Pee Wee Herman by the minute. I'm kidding. I love Grimm. I really enjoy him.
That's so weird. I just got a tweet from them, too. That's so crazy. All right.
Oh, yeah?
Funny. He's always plugging my school, yeah.
He, again, situations like that, again, and you never know because we weren't there and whatnot, but if that was real, like that's not the time and place to do that. It's, and it's really, nobody should be able to stop anyone like from making a living or doing what they like. And there's a lot of guys that have regular jobs and families and live their lives, but they like pro wrestling and they're not the greatest pro wrestlers, but it's just something they love to do and on the weekends and they have fun doing it. And it's nobody's business to say you don't fucking deserve to do this and this. It's not. I don't know. I just don't get it.
It's silly.
Yeah,
I think it's really silly, and because of that, it backfired where everyone's like, no one will use these two guys. I don't even know their names, to be honest with you. Like, and that's it. And Grimm still has his show. Grimm left the clip online. He doesn't mind showing people.
Sure, he looks like a badass taking outside of the glom, but the taking the punch, Grimm could take a punch.
Steel jaw Grimm. It's kind of like Homer Simpson when he kept like. He was a pro boxer, just could take all the shots, and the guy would just get tired and fall over.
He doesn't know when to go down. He just fucking hang in there, takes shot after shot. Eventually, the guy falls. He falls on him. 1, 2, 3. And I would like to see Grimm wrestle a bear. I think that would. I don't know why. I think we should use Grimm as an attraction now to see how much punishment he could take. I just really would like or you book Grimm for one of those like. Just a segment where him and another guy just slap the shit out of each other back and forth in the ring. And it's just it's just see who fucking gives first. That's all that it is. Just
the
weird.
Old Randy the Ram Necro Butcher spot. Yeah.
Just but no wrestling. You just let them fucking, or punches, whatever it is. Just fucking, you guys, Grimm, we're going to bring you in. We'll give you this amount. You guys are just going to trade shots back and forth. The first guy to go. Grimm will he's not going to go down.
Yeah, that's true. Guy punches him, breaks his hand. Slaps on the hand submission, and we've made Grimm a badass. That's good booking.
No, I'm telling you, I watched that video. The first thing I said, I don't know if that's real or not, but that punch looked fucking real. And if he not seeing it coming and taking a shot like that, and not the guy full speed running in with his momentum and nailing him in the face, and Grimm just gets up, and he knew enough. Grimm was in working mode still, threw a working glom. Which is my favorite part of all this.
Grimm took care of him.
Grimm took care of him while his partner took a fucking power bomb in the ring. And then what the fuck is going on? And Grimm was just professional enough to go to the back, and then those guys just do whatever they do. So that sucks. That should never happen. And I always told you, and I mentioned like in pro wrestling too, and I get along with all the guys that are up with WWE right now. But say And you know, I've had my things, and I never ever said a bad thing about Cena in the ring. I always said professionally, I always enjoyed working him. But you could say Punk, even all this beef with Punk supposedly. Once you go out to that ring, it's professional. You do not step over that line, because when you do, then you can never be trusted. It's hard to trust someone again after that. Mm-hmm. And it's like, and you look at different guys, and it's. And you look at a guy like Brock and things, and when you're out there, Ken Shamrock's another one. These guys are fucking badasses. It's just a line you don't cross when you're out there, because you're giving the other guy your body. So, not a cool thing at all.
That's all I got for the news this week. What do you say we take our first break and regroup?
All right, we'll be right back after this, guys. If you're anything like us, you like to enjoy a nice cold soda every now and then, but you hate the empty calories and the artificial sweeteners that come with it. With Zevia, you don't have to pick your poison. You won't feel awful worrying about the potentially harmful side effects, because with Zevia, there are none. Zevia uses the all-natural sweetener stevia and doesn't have any caramel coloring either. The result is a delicious and safer soda with none of the nasty stuff. Zevia has 14 different flavors of soda, 4 flavors of sparkling water, and 4 flavors of awesome energy drinks. This is the naturally sweetened pop you and your family will crave. And Zevia is giving you the opportunity to try their products for yourself for free. That's right, for free. If you live in the US or Canada, just go to Zevia.com/podcast and sign up, and they'll mail you a coupon for a free 6-pack. What are you waiting for? Head to Zevia.com/podcast and get your hands on some ASAP.
Hey everyone, in addition to being the co-host of this podcast, I'm the founder and promoter of WrestlePro. Dare I say, WrestlePro puts on the best professional wrestling live events in the country. We're also fully insured and licensed. Now, if you're listening to the show, then you clearly love professional wrestling, and I appreciate that. I also have a question for you. Would you like professional wrestling in your area, maybe in your hometown, your high school, your college, your civic center, your stadium? Whatever you want. If you're a civic group, a sports team, a fire department, a police department, if you have a corporate event, a festival, any group that is looking to raise funds or put on an entertaining show, WrestlePro is your promotion. This is not your regular wrestling show. Just in the last year, WrestlePro has brought in incredible talent such as Terry Funk, DDP, Booker T, Ryback, Cody Rhodes, Hornswoggle, Colt Cabana, Brian Cage, Jeff Jarrett, Tommy Dreamer, the Hardy Boys, Scott Steiner, and much, much more. Even the Nature Boy Ric Flair has been with WrestlePro and loves it. Tell him, Nate.
It's the Nature Boy. Woo! Ric Flair, WrestlePro, the Nature Boy, sign an autograph. Look as only you can look. WrestlePro, be there. Woo, 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 woo. Limousine riding, jet flying. Woo! WrestlePro. Woo!
If you're seriously interested, WrestlePro can bring a live wrestling show to your town. A full professional wrestling card complete with talent, 8 matches, sound system, lighting, the works. We design the artwork and posters. We help you sell the tickets. We push all of our events all over our social media. We believe in good repeat business. Packages and prices vary on talent requested and their availability. For more information, contact me directly at WrestleProOnline@yahoo.com or simply check out www.WrestleProOnline.com and you can see our past and upcoming events to get a taste of what WrestlePro is all about. I hope to hear from you soon.
Tips of the week. Yay! All right, guys. Tips of the week here. Match of the week. We got Jeff Cobb versus Zack Sabre Jr. That was over at RevPro in the UK. Great, great wrestling promotion over there. I've been there once, and I really enjoyed my time over there. But a hell of a matchup between those two. Check that out on YouTube. Jeff Cobb versus Zack Sabre Jr. Book of the week this week. The 5-Second Rule. Transform your life, work, and confidence with everyday courage by Mel Robbins. I really, really enjoyed this book a lot. I don't like to give spoilers on these things. I want you guys to go out and grab it, whether it's the hard copy or the audio version. I'm big on the audiobooks, as I can continue to just feed my mind more and more knowledge. And, you might only pick up 1 or 2 things. A lot of stuff I don't remember from them. But if I get 1 or 2 things that I could apply to my life, and you might get 1 or 2 things you could apply to your life. So just constantly be on the lookout, and whether you're stuck in traffic or whatever, put on an audiobook. You could always take advantage of the time and the situation. Airplanes, waiting to board. I mean, there's always opportunities to learn, guys. And the 5-Second Rule is a great book. You will enjoy it. This book will make you a better person. Quote of the week: I would rather try and suck than not try and be stuck. And that was by yours truly, Ryback Reeves. This week, with everything going on and all the negativity out there, and just it's really disheartening. And all we could do is live our lives, and I would rather try and quote unquote suck by all the experts out there, or so-called experts that know it all, and rather than not try and just kind of be stuck in a rut and stuck and be a victim of circumstances that life will kick your ass if you don't try. And it's easier to sit back and try to judge and criticize other people, and rather than say, you know what, fuck it. I'm going to quit being a little bitch, and I'm going to go out and I'm just going to try. I'm going to go out and I'm going to have fun. I'm going to do what I love. I'm going to be the best version of myself day in and day out, and not give a goddamn shit what anybody else thinks or has to say about it. So that's the quote of the week. Nutrition tip. These guys, I love meatballs, but meatballs is, they have quite a bit of, they can have carbs in them and a lot of fat depending on the cut of ground beef used. At the Whole Foods store, and whether it's Whole Foods, and this is a Natural Grocers down the road for me, they're called Shelton's Turkey Meatballs. They're gluten-free and reduced fat. So there's a little under 4 servings. I think there's about 3.5 servings per box. I'll eat the entire box in one sitting, but each serving has 4.5 grams of fat, 15 grams of protein, only 1 gram of carbohydrates, so it's keto-friendly, and only 180 calories per serving, and they taste incredible. So Shelton's Turkey Meatballs, and I'm sure those are at probably Whole Foods, I would imagine, like I mentioned before. Check those out, because especially if you get sick of eating the same things all the time, it's nice to throw something healthy in there. Even if you have pasta with a carb meal, you can keep your fat content down with these, rather than regular meatballs that might have 50, 60, 70, 80 grams of fat per, serving, or what, not serving, but in the whole thing. So you could really, really help yourself out by just little things like this each and every day, making small changes, and they add up over time. Workout tip of the week. I don't know if you guys have ever seen this, but they're called glute ham raises. A lot of college sports teams use this. They have them in their gyms. A lot of pro sports teams. It's in a lot of, if you have any gym that has a glute ham raise machine, is a real gym, most likely, more often than not, because that means the people in charge know how valuable this certain piece of equipment is. You might not be able to do it very effectively at first, because it really requires you to be able to recruit your hamstrings and glute muscles a lot more than doing any other kind of machine. It's a superior movement for glutes and hamstrings. It's a great tool to help with explosiveness and just overall athletic ability. And check it out. Look it up, glute ham raise machine, glute ham raises. And if you could find a gym that has one, I got one at my gym here, and I do it every week, and it's a very valuable asset, and there's nothing like it. So check that out. That's the workout tip of the week, guys. I don't know if I mentioned to you, I noticed before I deleted my social media, there was one thing. It made me very disappointed in the human race, Pat. It's unfortunate. This is that anybody could put anything out there, and there's just no way to, you can never filter out all the bullshit. But on Reddit, I don't know, are you familiar with Reddit?
I am.
You don't have an account, do you? I have no clue about them, by the way. I didn't
really.
Yeah, I'm not. I can't even. I found out about it through a tweet this week that people started again before I deleted them, and that there was a Reddit user had created a post about me, and I go, what the fuck? I have never. So can you explain to everybody what Reddit is?
Sure. As far as I know, because here I had an experience with Reddit once too. Basically, it's an online message board on various different topics where people kind of break news, and I mean, it is the troll side of all troll sites. People can get carried away with shit. I I had a super personal thing happen to me where I was mind blown by this, because when I used to run my other company, Pro Wrestling Syndicate, and I was going to start a company by myself, news about that, and only about 3 or 4 people I told, like, hey, like, I think I'm going to start my own thing. It broke on Reddit. And I was like, kind of like, someone's like, hey, go look at this. And it said that it had a whole thread about, and it was accurate and it was right. And I was
Really?
like, how the fuck do people, why is this out there? Like, I didn't think people would care enough about it, but it just basically explained like how, like, I am moving on to start my own thing. And I was just kind of like, holy shit, that was my first experience. But basically it's like people use it to do fake stuff, real stuff. It's just it's a thing. It's a big thing in our culture.
Would you say if you have a Reddit account, life probably isn't going great for you?
No, I can't fully say that, because a lot of people, you know, it depends what they use it for. If you're using it
If you're using it for
to be
pro wrestling, I have a feeling your life isn't going great.
Well, I don't know, man. Maybe you have an office job, you're making a lot of money, but you happen to
Getting paid to
love...
sit on message board forums all day?
There you go.
Yeah. Jesus Christ.
Like, for example, a successful man like Conrad Thompson comes to mind. You know, successful businessman.
Okay.
And I just picture him before he started his venture. I bet you he was on Reddit, you know, commenting back and forth, probably positive stuff. Maybe
I like
jabs
Conrad
here
a lot.
and there.
I don't know. I don't picture Conrad on Reddit.
You don't think so?
What, like under the name of what? C Diddy? I don't know. Like what's Conrad's? What is his Reddit name?
Well, he subscribed to Meltzer's thing. His success has come from the critiquing and the analyzation and the information. I think Conrad had a good Reddit
I
run.
love Conrad, but he does make fucking Mark comments sometimes. But he does, and he knows it. He openly, but he's a fan. He's very fair in his assessments on things. So, and I like him a lot. So, but it's so
what happens?
This I noticed. So somebody goes on there and created a post that Ryback's at it again. Ryback's in the news again. Well, you're fucking making this fake news up, you dumb motherfucker. Accusing me of making fake Amazon reviews for my book and my supplements because my stuff has 5-star reviews. And now, mind you, there's not hundreds of reviews. These are all new. So some of them, it's like 7, 8, 9, 10. Some only have like 2 or 3. It takes time to get reviews on your stuff and for that whole process to play out. But I have 5-star reviews because people like the stuff. So in this person's mind, they hate me so much. They hate the idea of me so much. It is impossible for anybody else to have used my supplements or have read my book and actually enjoyed it and benefited from it and gave it a 5-star review, which we ask people on this podcast to please leave your reviews on everything that we do and that we have.
We're up to 304 reviews.
Yeah.
And I'm a psychopath, so I know the breakdown. About 295 are 5-star. We got about 4 that are 1-star, and the rest are in between.
Yeah. And the reviews are greatly appreciated and really help the entire process. But so they make this post with no facts, and which their big accusation was KG, which is Kylie Galone, as we know her as Kai back online, whom shared a very personal story with me years ago about her brother who had passed away, and we had something happen at a live event in Wildwood where it was really cool, and she's been a longtime supporter of mine and a faithful supporter through thick and thin. And she comes to a lot of my appearances, and
comes to all my
she's a
shows.
good human being, yeah. But she's always has my back, so to speak, and so she would review, I guess, there's a lot of fake merchandise on there with Feed Me More stuff. I got to get them kicked off all the time. New stuff pops back up. Well, I guess I had no idea she was 1-starring the fake stuff, which is great. That's cool. That's getting
awesome.
it pulled anyway.
That's part of she might be the leader of the Defenders.
Yeah, like the Rybackers.
Well, some people said the Rybuckers. So
oh, not bad. I like that. I didn't see that because I deleted social
You're
media.
retired. I'm seeing it now. I'm in control of the accounts.
You can just make shit up and I won't know. Rybuckers, I like Rybuckers. And then they were accusing me of being KG on there, which is her, in which she had to go, no, this is me, you dumb motherfucker.
But is her name KG Ryback? Is that...
No. Kyback, her name is Kyback on Twitter, but her name was Kylie Galone. And everybody, you have to purchase the thing to review it, whether it's the book or and whatnot on there. And so anyways, and it's all people that either listen to this podcast or it just blows my mind that this person out there, they hate me so much they can't believe that anybody likes me or supports me or that there's people out there like. This isn't fake fucking fighting where you think you have it figured out. This is real life, you dumb motherfucker. It's people like this that I wish I could meet in person because I would fuck their existence up in their face. Really, just low life scum motherfuckers. Like fuck you for making that post, you piece of shit. It really I'm offended by it, and it's you go look, and then people are saying, well, big companies pay people to do this and that. Go look at the amount of reviews. I'm letting the process play out naturally, you stupid fucking idiot. But, sorry. And that's not fucking the nicest thing in the world to say, but you're going to make up fake fucking bullshit. Fucking get your facts right. That's how I feel. Seriously, I take this is real life shit.
No, it's your business.
Yeah,
it's your baby.
It's real life. And you don't fucking go on there and just, it fucking boils my blood, man. These people, it's like, go live your fucking life and fucking do something with yourself. You got to make up fake fucking bullshit like that. It makes me just fuck off. On top of that, moving on.
I wanted 2 weeks in a row. We got the reviews.
I was gonna, if it's all right though, I would like to say because this could really help this poor lost soul. Is the Feed Me More goal boards are now on Amazon, which they were on the feedmemore.com website, but shipping was pretty high on those because of their pretty large boards, which they have everything preset. They have 5 numbers 1 through 5, Feed Me More goals, the Feed Me More logo on there. It's a great tool for kids actually to learn to start setting goals, and they're eligible for free shipping with the Prime membership on Amazon. They're $17.99. I saw there were people, why would we buy a vision board or a goal board when we could just write it down in a notebook? And the answer to that is you hang it on your wall and you hold yourself accountable and you wake up and you see it every morning. You put it in a spot where you're going to see it. And it's the price is, if you've ever seen the whiteboards in Walgreens or Walmart, they have small ones to big ones. And it is very fairly priced because why would we pay $17.99 for a goal board when we could write it in a notebook paper? Write it in a notebook paper if that's going to work for you. Some people like to visually hang them on their wall. It's just a tool. It makes the process a little easier. It's good for kids. It's good for anybody of any age. But I wanted to kind of give that a little plug this week because they're on Amazon now, guys, the Feed Me More goal boards. So check those out if you're interested in just visualization and setting goals and whatnot. And that poor lost soul that's doing the fake post, you might benefit from making some goals for yourself rather than being obsessed with the most polarizing man in sports entertainment today, the big guy Ryback.
I'm going to have to fucking trademark that phrase.
I love it. I'm keeping it.
So in terms of also, before we do the reviews, I want to say that for the first week, I'm very happy that one of the review winners will be cashing in and coming to WrestlePro, which was always an option if you live in the New York, New Jersey area. But also, we're going to start getting made T-shirts for this podcast. Granted, there is one already. I have a little idea in mind based on I got to have Mark Carino draw this up on the CBGB's logo for CWTBG with a little, we'll be giving those out for a review of the week for the next couple weeks. I haven't had them made yet, but I'm going to be getting them made. Maybe I could alleviate your shipping costs because I feel bad you've contributed this far in and sent out a lot of free shit, man. I feel bad.
I'm about to be living in a van down by the fucking strip here pretty soon if this keeps going on. You're giving me these international orders, and it's, just fucking money going out left and right.
So now we'll go with the old T-shirt. You guys, you can send me your size if you win, and I'll get you one. It may take me a little bit of time, but I will get you the shirt.
The supplements are still on the table, by the way. I feel like people are going to think, like, wait a second, Ryback's really struggling here. Supplements. We've given him more options. I think the more options, the better.
Okay, let's get to it.
Reviews of the week.
First review from Barry Stallworth. Great show. I honestly turned on with zero expectations. And that's dude, that's a normal every third review starts off, I thought this was going to be a bad show, or I don't like, it's always something like I didn't expect anything. Not saying we're good, we're just having fun here. I tuned in with zero expectations, but with an open mind. This show has quickly become my favorite podcast. It's given me something to look forward to on a Monday. I've jumped on the keto diet and I've lost 14 pounds. Thanks for all the tips and laughs. Pre-show stopper.
Oh, man, that's a great review. Thank you very much. And that's the one thing I told you, Pat. That, and again, in deleting the social media, people, and if you want to contact me, the big guy at feedmemore.com, everything's on the website, and there's still ways to contact me. And you get the emails, too, of the people we're helping out there with the little...
The weight loss shit blows my mind. Like, I know we talk about fitness stuff a lot, but, like... I think we're missing the mark. I think we got to do more fitness-esque type.
That's on me. I need to start doing, I give my tips of the week, but by simply doing the tips of the week and the little bit we have talked about, I know we have people reaching upwards of 100 pounds now they've lost of weight and getting off their ass and just being active and not being little bitches anymore, as I like to call it. It's like, because we all have it in us where we act like little bitches from time to time. Everybody does.
Yep.
You just need a kick in the ass every once in a while. So that's why I don't care about those people that don't get me, that don't understand the idea of Ryback or understand us and don't care about this. Great. I don't care about you either. I care about helping people that want to help themselves. And that's the greatest compliment in the world, man. And getting the emails that people send. And people are changing their lives because they listen to this podcast. And that will fucking surpass anything that does with wrestling and any other shit fucking every day of the week. So thank you guys.
They're either changing their lives or they're really good liars. But I believe that they are getting to the gym and quality over quantity as far as the support. Here's a second review from Kevin787. Changed my way of thinking. This is my first review for anything on iTunes. Whoa. I found the show when it first debuted, and I started... And needless to say, from my life and from a health standpoint, it's changed for the better. I'm down 88 pounds from a high of 340 pounds a few years ago, and I've went up and down too many times. This is until I heard the podcast. Thanks to your approach of eating clean consistently, drinking Zevia soda, which is a big thing I needed to cut out, and still having cheat meals here and there, I've learned to balance and dedicate in regards to health. And if we don't change our habits, we can't change ourselves. 6 months straight, I maintained my weight loss and also shed a few more pounds on top of that. Thank you guys for being genuine. I would love to meet and hang out with you some guys. I listened to this, and you will not regret it. You listen to this, you might not regret it. You might learn how to lose a little bit of weight, too.
Ah, man, that is that's special, man. That's cool. To hear that.
That's a big guy. 88 pounds from 340? Jesus.
Yeah, that's him putting in the work. And thank you for listening and for giving us a little credit. But that's all you, man. That's just it's just and he's spot on. It's changing habits. We are all capable of changing our habits, and we all have good habits and bad habits. So
and I think we'd encourage too. I wouldn't mind hearing. We hear the brief, synopsis of, hey, let us know, man. How are you guys dropping this weight? Like, what did you do? What changed? And yeah, I'd love to know the details because I see it a lot. Like, hey, this helped me, but like, I don't know. I'm a fan of that stuff, and I think that just to be a little different from the other wrestling places, I really do like the fitness approach to doing more stuff in that regard because I don't think anyone else is doing it, so why not?
And that's what, and we encourage everybody out there, along when we send out the stuff for the questions of the week, and give us your feedback on what you want us to talk about. If we can get some stuff, and we know what you guys that are listening every week, and there's a lot of you, if you can kind of give us an idea what maybe how can we help you, and help us prepare for some of those things, and I'll start doing a better job of doing some more fitness stuff and nutrition stuff. I'm constantly that stuff. It's easy for me because I've done it for so long, but always assume that you're starting from ground zero, and then this stuff, and that just the fitness tips and stuff, or the tips of the week and stuff to see that they're helping people. That's cool, man. And I try to, this podcast, we're a wrestling podcast, but we're not. I try to be a little more, it's just what's going on in our lives. And we're more than just wrestlers, both of us.
Wrestling's a big part of our lives.
Absolutely.
Someone says to me once, but it's not life. Like, it's not like, you can't, if you're a fan or even if you're in, like, wrestling is not, you may even think like, oh, wrestling's my life. No, it shouldn't be your life. It could be a big part of your life.
Yeah.
But it's not fucking life. Don't fucking do that. Don't be that way.
Yeah, there's just having a balanced life, no matter what, is the key to everything. And wrestling could be a big part of it, and you could eat, breathe, and sleep it. But there's still other parts of life that you cannot neglect because eventually it will catch up to you.
Yeah, especially your health.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great point. The second reviewer, what was his name? The one
Kevin787.
You're our winner this week. If you could please email me at thebigguy@feedmemore.com with your supplement of choice or whatever it is that if you want the T-shirt this week or the supplement of your choice, and you'll get a free Feed Me More Nutrition shaker bottle and workout towel, and I'll throw in the new Feed Me More Nutrition wristbands that we have in also into that order for you. So thank you guys very much. Great reviews.
Very cool. Keep them coming. It helps. We're up to 300 and something. It was really cool to see the podcast ranked, a couple times in the top 200 sports podcasts. We're in and out of that often, and I just never thought it would jump so quickly. So thank you guys. We're approaching the 2 million download mark. So keep up the reviews. I really, really love it.
We surpassed my goal for this year because I didn't know where we were going to be at, and we have grown quickly, and it's cool. We just keep growing, and it's because we are reaching more and more people. People are sharing the podcast, and I think I always told you only got to see a limited amount of me on WWE television talking and whatnot, or people had this. Well, he's always angry. He's always screaming, "Feed me more!" And so, well, what kind of podcast is? And I think to hear the dynamic between me and you and our relationship, and that's why people don't necessarily know what to expect when it's coming on, and it's cool. It always bothers me too when like the fake news reporters and everything. I can't stress this enough, everyone. I've said this from the beginning. I don't hate WWE. I just talk openly about things that have happened from my perspective. But people, there's a percentage of people that think I hate it and whatnot.
Well, that's the narrative. The narrative is that you're a crazy man that left, and that you hate, and that you're claiming a lot of stuff, and that's the narrative that people have. They want
to believe, or that this small percentage of these online forum people or social media people want to believe, and they never take the good. And we talk. There's a lot of good about it.
That's the thing. That's the thing. If you want to think that, you have a right to think that. But the thing is, you have to take the good with you, and they don't.
No,
zero.
And that's but the people that listen to this podcast get it, because they listen to everything, and they don't take a minute sound clip and then create the headline they want to create in this. And it's just that's the times that we live in. So, but it's just thank you guys for listening, because this podcast is something that we both enjoy doing, and it's not going anywhere. I'm not changing. You're not changing, and. Nope. We're going to keep doing our thing. So thank you guys.
Just keep on drinking. Did you know, and I'm learning about this, that there is a protein-based vodka? Have you heard about this?
Yeah, I think I have heard about that a while back. I'm not big on like mixing. I think if you're going to have a couple drinks, have a couple drinks. I'm not trying.
Let your hair down.
Yeah, Jesus. I think it's just. Yeah, I want my stomach to be bloated, and I want to be farting and shitting while I'm having a couple drinks. No. Like, I want a couple drinks. I want to get a light buzz. I want to feel good. I want to relax. And I don't want to have to be worrying about, am I going to have to shit in 30 minutes or not? Like, goddamn.
Damn, maybe I shouldn't mention that I'm trying to talk to them as a sponsor.
Wait. Did I tell you how much I love having protein while I drink my...
That's what I heard. Everybody wants to have protein while they drink.
Why the fuck wouldn't you bring this up to me before we... God damn it, Pat. This is...
I try to segue. I bought this. This is funny. Hold on a second. Let me get this.
Have you?
So I thought about if there's ever a time where, you get off track or I get off track, or we say things that, like, maybe we shouldn't say. I bought a bell. It's just...
Oh, wow.
just to ring and kind
Wait,
of ring us
show
us back in.
Show me that bell again. I have, I think, the same bell upstairs.
It's a handheld, kind
Yes.
of like a Game of Thrones bell that you can just kind of
A little dinner bell.
little dinner bell. Yeah.
I got one of those when I was maybe like a year and a half ago. I think I forget what it was. I don't know if it was during I can't remember what it was. It was something. And for when I needed help to the bell, I bought it on Amazon. And it was a joke kind of, but it's sitting upstairs in my bedroom still. I just have it because it pops me. It's just that old-fashioned little bell, just like you just have right there. I
love it.
I could bring it down here for the podcast if we both, when something is, it's mostly going to be used on your end probably for when I when I go on to my Scott Steiner rants, but I get angry.
So far, so
sometimes.
good. Yeah.
I mean,
understand.
I you know what always here's another thing. I think
Sure.
I read before the people like. It's when how dare he defend himself? Like fucking, it's like people make fake shit up about you and you defend yourself. God, what a piece of shit for defending himself. Fuck him. What a piece of shit for having confidence and believing in himself. And I think Pat, this all comes down to it's ultimately people mistake confidence with being like cocky and arrogant because I think so many people lack confidence and self-esteem and don't understand it that when they hear somebody that has confidence, they don't understand how to take it and they're offended by it. Well, God damn him for believing in himself and his ideas, and God damn him for sticking up for himself and not putting up with us pieces of shit. Like, God, it's just
polarizing to the end, man.
you guys, I can't thank you guys enough. I'm so irrelevant. You just have to keep creating posts about me. You know why you do that, Pat? Do you know why they do that?
Why is that?
Because I'm the most polarizing man in sports entertainment today. The big guy Ryback. Trademarked.
Let's move on to. Hold on, wait. The fucking Lex Express is going up the street.
So, hold on. We now have Taker, Sparkplug Holly, and now the Lex Express just blew by Old Buck's residence. Holy
Oh man.
man. What a deal. He
Let's
got to drive around in that bus, right? Did he get to drive around in that for a while?
USA Lex Luger is one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. The fact that he was just so angry and just he didn't like people, but he's playing this big babyface wrestler. But yeah, I think that it was it was a whole tour. I don't know how long the tour was. It wasn't a year. Maybe it was 3 months. Not sure.
Yeah. I would love to go on a Read Me More tour with a big bus and it's just go on just me reading to kids in my angry Big Ryback voice. Short stories by the big guy Ryback.
Or the kids are teaching you how to read.
Yeah.
Town to town. It's the whole tour is to get you to learn how to read.
That's secretly, that's all that it is. It's God damn, we can't be using this guy in this position. He can't fucking read.
The Read Me More tour. Fuck.
That's going to be another thing. Ryback claims he was supposed to go on a big Read Me More tour, and Vince didn't believe he could read. Fuck. What else we got here this week? Got some questions?
We got a lot of questions. We didn't address them last week. Sorry, we got carried away, and
You were angry at me last week, Pat.
I snapped, and I listened to myself back. I'm not going to lie. I think I have an anger problem. I know that. So I know I do.
Really?
I keep it all inside, and when it comes out, it's ugly. And my wife agrees, who I have so much patience with. And she has patience with me. I don't have patience with her. But I think, because listening back, when I listen to the podcast doing cardio, because I always listen to the podcast, one, because we're narcissists, but two, because I want to hear if it's good or not. And I'm like, man, why the fuck am I so angry? And it's just something I got to address one day. I don't know if I need therapy, or maybe it was a bad day, or there's too much hormones in me. I don't know. I'll figure it out.
Wait, hold on. With too much hormones in you. Wait,
I don't know, man.
I thought
I'm just going through.
Your entire body's fueled by Feed Me More nutrition right now. Please do not mistake that with hormones.
Well, maybe it turned stuff on, man. I don't know. This extra aggression and
The Big Guy All Natural Testosterone Booster does raise your testosterone. It's, by the way, Justin Roberts is on it, and his testosterone, I hope he doesn't mind me talking about this. Check out his book, because then he can't mind me talking about this, because we're going to plug his book again. Do you remember?
I'm going to download his book because I've heard a lot about it.
It's
so I really
great.
will.
Please, everyone out there, check out his. It gives you an insight into a WWE ring announcer, and he got to live out his dream, and he had a hell of a run. And you get to see another person who's been inside that inner circle and what they've gone through. But he went on 2 months of the Big Guy Testosterone Booster, and his testosterone is now in the normal ranges, and it was
Wow.
it was not in the normal range before. And he's going to do another. He's taking a little break, and he's going to do another 2 months, and hopefully he's sitting a little prettier than he even is now. And the stuff works, and I got the blood test results from it, showing it time and time again, and it's the real deal. It's this stuff. A lot of thought has gone into this, so. But yeah, check out Justin Roberts' book. So, but the stuff it raises your testosterone all within the normal ranges. It's not pro hormones or steroids or anything like that. It's all natural herbs, but it's stuff that synergistically works great together. And maybe that's what's making you're just getting a little surge in your testosterone.
Yeah, the boners are great, but my anger is just through the roof.
I was going to ask you if you had a boner the entire podcast yelling at me last week. I don't know.
Not during it. Listening back to it, though, hard as a rock. So, all right. First question.
I got a question.
David Louvers87 on Twitter. While looking for stevia products, I noticed most also have maltodextrin. Why is this added? Will you please recommend a pure stevia product?
I don't know what he's looking at that has that in it. I believe that's just that's like a sugar, if I'm not mistaken.
I think I saw a couple tweets about this, and a couple people I think need to understand this because they found out about Coca-Cola Life, the green one. And it has sugar in it. You guys got to understand that, like, that defeats the purpose. Like diet soda, granted, it's not healthy for you because it has aspartame sucralose, but there's no calories in it. It's not going to make you fat. It's not going to do that to you. But Coca-Cola has a stevia product, but it still has sugar in it.
A lot of it.
So it defeats a lot of it, and it defeats the purpose. So it's not like a Zevia, which is our proud sponsor and stuff I live and die for. But like that's the difference. So I saw at least 4 or 5 tweets going, "Wow, have you guys heard about this?" Like, no, read your nutrition label. It's not healthy.
That's the big thing. You have to read the nutrition labels. And another thing, when you read the nutrition labels, as you go down and see the calories, the carbohydrates, the sugars, the fats, and all that stuff, you got to look at the serving size because it's one serving, but it might have 4 servings per bottle. So that 15 grams of sugar is actually 60 grams of sugar in the whole bottle, which is going to make you a fat fuck. So you have to. There's no way around it. That's that's business. But so the people need to understand, like Coca-Cola Light, what they are doing is trying to educate the consumer of the taste of stevia without going all the way at first. Because what's going to happen is they are selling you poison right now, all these companies, and they know it. Mm-hmm. They know they eventually have to get away from it, and they're going to go to. They're all going to go to.
But
to
it's
stevia.
too expensive, correct?
It's a lot more expensive than artificial, like aspartame and sucralose. It's cheaper. So the whole point of business is keep your costs as low as possible and make your profits as big as possible. So for them to switch over to stevia is going to hurt their bottom line, which is going to hurt their stocks, and it's a whole. And there's people that don't. A lot of people love stevia. Some people they take a little bit of getting used to it. I remember when I first had it, I didn't hate it, but it took a little bit. It's like the first time you drink a regular Diet Coke when you're a kid. Oh, this is gross. And then before you know it, you're drinking them and you taste a regular Coke and you're like, oh, this is gross. It's the same thing. Where they're trying to educate the consumer on the taste of stevia in a mild way is all that is. That's because why wouldn't they just go full-blown stevia?
Yeah, makes sense.
They're trying to slowly get away from it, and that's their way of doing it, in my opinion. Don't drink that shit. It's bad for you. Nothing against Coke, but just that's what they're doing with that.
I got a question.
Next question from Midcard Wrestling. Ryback, whose idea was it for you to switch from a singlet to trunks?
So I believe we talked about this Vince, if you remember, there was something on TV that happened where I ran out in my athletic pants and I ripped my shirt off. And I don't know if it was during the feud with wasn't with Kevin. I can't remember the exact time period. But I ripped my shirt off. And I've always been lean. I've always been in shape. I always am. And but I guess Vince didn't know what I looked like because
He assumed you wore the singlet to hide stuff, or no?
Yeah, did I ever tell you? So again, this will lead into a random story.
Of course.
when I came,
I got the bell ready.
no, this is all cool.
Okay,
but this is just how when I came back as after my ankle injury, my first match back. By the way, I did one practice match to get cleared in FCW, which was very easy. It was hardly anything just to get cleared. My ankle was so fucked up still. I had like I was wobbly on it, and we've talked about this in the archives early on with the whole lawsuit with the ankle thing and me. If I didn't stick up for myself, I never would have been in WWE. So
the ankle situation on the old archives.
Yeah, and people will understand. Everything will make way more sense to you guys on all this. But my first match back was against Alex Riley. I got teamed with him. Me and him did singles matches, 8 minutes every night on the live event loops, where we'd go out there and wrestle. But I wasn't able to wrestle or do any like conditioning stuff because my ankle was so fucked up. So I went.
Oh, wow.
I went from being out a year and a half and having to fight to keep my job and going through. They fired me and I fucking fought through it, and I just said, put me on the fucking road and just put me on the road and let me fucking prove myself. And they put me on the road, but there was no in-ring training, anything to get back. It was out a year.
So you couldn't do any conditioning whatsoever.
Like
really,
I could do
right?
like elliptical stuff and but that's not the same as doing like your burpees. And my ankle was fucked up still. I wasn't ready. I shouldn't have been back probably for another 6 months to get there because my nerves were still regenerating and like my balance. I told you that was why I did the whole march with the shell shock, because when I picked guys up, I would fucking wobble and my balance was so off. I had to figure out a way to do something to like hide my fucking balance issues. So that was a way to push off and like it was just my way of covering it. So anyways, I was in trunks when I came back for all that. And I was in shape, but I wasn't able to do the amount of conditioning that I was used to. So, and I told you my fat, whenever I get fat, I'll get a little bit on my sides. In Vince, I guess it told somebody I'd been on the road and that I was fat and that I was out of shape and that I needed to lose like 30 pounds, 20 or 30 pounds. And
I never heard this.
Yeah,
Holy
this
shit.
is a legit thing. And that's why he put me in the singlet. So he goes, I want him in a black singlet. So they had the seamstresses at TV make a black singlet before I debuted. And I go, well, I just look like a shorter, jacked up Big Show. Like it was.
I remember getting pictures. I don't know if Hawkins or someone took it and sent it to me. It was like a Psycho Sid singlet, like the
just straight
his
black.
original Sid Vicious black.
But the best part about this is funny. We haven't talked about this. I
never heard this.
I had to get the singlet and put it on, and I felt so awkward because I was used to wearing trunks. Whenever you switch up your attire, it's
weird.
Yeah, it's weird. So I had to put the singlet on, and all the guys, oh, it looks good. And then I had to go into Vince's office with Vince and Hunter and like just stand there and let them look at me in the singlet. And you just feel like it's just such a weird process of how when you look back and there was nothing bad about it. And they want to see, but they thought like not Hunter, Vince thought I was fat was the thing. And
that's fucking
which
that's
I've
awesome.
never been fat. Yeah, it's so, but it pissed me off because I was like, he just doesn't fucking understand the goddamn, like, I can't fucking do the things that I'm fucked up. And, but I was in shape. It was, goddamn, it really.
That's the thing. You weren't, were you fat?
No, I wasn't fat at all. But it was in his mind, maybe I wasn't as lean as I was when I was in the Nexus.
Okay.
If that maybe, to lose 20 or 30 pounds, it was a hell of a fucking. That was the thing. One of the producers or something like, can you lose 30 pounds? And I laughed. I go, what do you just want me to change? Do you want me to be a high flyer? Like, what's going on? And so anyways, that's where when I was against the singlet at first. Eventually loved it because I figured out, cool, I could get this thing airbrushed, get it painted, and have a platform to show my personality. And then it ended up becoming, I just absolutely loved it. RVD gave me his blessing, got a hold of him. Mm-hmm. He was cool. He didn't think he was going to be back, which he ended up coming back at some point. But it was a cool deal, all of it. And I'm very grateful for the whole thing. But I tear my shirt off, and I'm sorry this is a longer answer, but it's
good.
When we get a story, we get a story. I ripped my shirt off in something on Raw, and Vince and everybody, when I get to the back, God damn it, I hope you're ready to go to Trunks, Vince. Can it believe your physique or whatever? And I go, I pulled my straps down every week. You could clearly see the type of shape I'm in every week. And
this is wild.
This is Pat. You can't make it.
No, you can't make this shit up. Yeah.
But this is a lie to a portion of people out there. Ryback at it again. And so I was against it because the singlet is that was my attire. You don't change your attire at that point. I feel like that was it. That is how I am recognized. That is my battle armor, whatever you want to call it. And so, anyways, Mark Carano, my good buddy, was the one that first. We need you in Trunks next week. Fuck no, I'm not. I'm not doing it, and just shut him down. Came back again. Something. I'm not doing it. Had a discussion with Hunter, Michael Hayes. I'm not doing it. Well, Vince wants to talk to you. We'll have him talk to me. I'm not doing it. I decide what I'm fucking wearing. And then Vince and then me and him had a conversation. We talked about it, and it was, and I explained to him my theories on why I wanted to keep it, and he let me keep it. Eventually, though, towards the end, this is when all the contract stuff was going on. My head, and I don't give a shit about things.
But when you went to Trunks, were you? Because I get it. Like if you go to be a heel and it's like a new look. But were you a babyface at the time? Or
I was a babyface still at the time.
Gotcha.
And so my whole thing is, I already knew I was leaving. I just didn't know when yet. And I just essentially, it was just done to piss Vince off more so. I did it without telling him. I went out, I think it was a SmackDown. I wrestled Eric Rowan. I had, and the best part is, and again, with fans, they thought I was trying to copy Goldberg. I had black undertights. That's all that I had. So I wore those as my trunks. And it was just simply that was just letting him know what he was losing. And that was it. That's all that it was. It wasn't like this huge thought process on it. In my head, I was fucking ready to go. And I've always been in great shape, and I work really hard. And I remember he was pissed that I went into the Trunks and didn't tell him. And we had a discussion about it. And then he said something to me. He goes, God damn it, look at you. How can I job this out? And I go, well, you've done a pretty good job of it thus far. And that was it. And that night I put over Bray in Trunks because he goes, afterwards we'll get you going. After we talked about all the fucking contract stuff. And it was all I do is share truths on the show on things that have happened. And he's more than entitled to do everything that he does because it's his company. So, but I was leaving and I knew it. And I just I was just fucking around essentially. I just wanted, I look good. I'm going to show it off a little bit before I leave.
All right.
Good to nice show the grandkids. Look at your dad, your grandpappy. Or my dogs at that point, my 30 French bulldogs I have.
Next question from Icky Vicky 17 on Twitter.
I got a question.
Hey Ryback, I'm a 17-year-old overweight piece of shit trying to lose weight. Should I take a fat burner? I swear to God, this is the question. And it's a female.
No, so 17, you're more than in when there's a lot of different fat burners out there, and I'm not trying to sit there and just put over my stuff, but with the Shell Shock Extreme Fat Burners right around the corner, and it's very safe and effective with things like apple cider vinegar, green coffee bean, green tea extract, cayenne pepper, with the cool cayenne, which doesn't burn your stomach, and a bunch of other really, really cool things, some Chinese ginseng, and a little bit of small amount of caffeine with the ginseng, and that's really going to help you with your energy. So that would be something to look into. That's not going to harm your thyroid. There's a lot of bad ones out there. There's some decent ones, but I would hold off for Shell Shock Extreme Fat Burner, but just hard work, diet, nutrition, get all that stuff in line first. A lot of people will take a fat burner as an excuse to eat junk, and then they don't really lose weight, and then well, this shit doesn't work. No, you're eating more junk food than you even were because you're using it as a crutch. That's a real thing that happens.
Oh, I've seen it. Yeah, sure.
Where well, I can go get an extra 20 piece of chicken nuggets and a large fries. I'm on a fat burner. It doesn't work like that, guys. You have to diet, and then it really does help. So,
next question from Prune Juice Baby on Twitter.
I got a question.
These names are great this week.
I apologize for the dumb question, but are either of you coffee or tea drinkers? Yes, I'm a coffee guy, obviously.
I do a little bit of coffee, mostly decaf these days because I'm on usually the Wake Up Unlimited Energy, which has more than enough caffeine for me. So I try to do decaf. Occasionally, I'll do a cup of coffee, a K cup, maybe later in the day. I like coffee a lot, but usually it's decaf.
I like the Bulletproof coffee. I've been using that lately. I normally drink it black. I've been actually putting MCT oil into my. I don't know how you feel about that. I've been putting that into my coffee.
That's a keto thing.
It's a keto thing, yeah, and it gives you like a sweet essence. It's not as potent as like a stevia or sugar, but like it's just a little something to kind of, it's. I've been looking into it. I've been shopping at this one place, and they have really good stuff, keto stuff.
I've always been a black coffee drinker. I've never put. I don't understand the whole the sugar and cream in coffee. I don't. I like black coffee. I love the taste of it. I don't know what it is.
I mean, I do too.
What's the deal with putting the sugar in there and whatnot? To me, I don't get it. It doesn't taste good to me. It doesn't taste good to you. I don't.
It's an American thing, man.
Obviously,
they have to make
everyone's doing it.
Like sweeter and like fattening, and whole milk and 2 sugars. It's like, I don't know, man. Like they just like Americans are bad with that, where you need like this sweet thing. It's like I enjoy black coffee. Like I can't
black
enjoy
coffee's good for you too.
It's great.
That's why I was like, why fuck that up?
People drinking. I feel like if I have that, like it's like a dessert. I don't want to begin my day and go, let me have a fucking dessert, like this sweet, milky, fucking sugary.
Maybe that's a way
bullshit.
around it. That's an excuse for people to make that they're just having coffee, but it's actually, it's a way to start your day off with sugar. I think that, without actually eating ice cream.
I definitely think, I definitely think that's a thing. Jesus, Michael White, you asked 5 questions. I'll go through this.
Michael White, another faithful follower, man. I've met him 2 times.
Wait, I think he was just ranting. Hold on.
I got a question.
Here's a question. During a heavy free weight workout, should you do cardio be done before or after or not on the same day?
So you'll hear different theories on this, and I always say everybody's different. But so for me personally, if I'm going to do my hard conditioning, it's after my workout so that it does not affect my strength during the workout, because I can literally do a 30, 40 set workout and do all my conditioning and be fine at this point in time. But if I were to do 100 burpees before doing my workout, it's going to zap you. It's not going to be dead necessarily, but it's going to zap you a little bit of your strength. So I always prefer to do it at the end. Also, if you have the time, it's better to actually split your cardio from your weight training, believe it or not. Has always been the preferred method by a lot of people that are like bodybuilders and people that have the time. I always like trying to get everything done at once, and sometimes I told you, like, I'm doing the two sessions right now where I do my workout and like a little bit of elliptical stuff to get a few calories at the end of a workout, and then I'm doing my hard conditioning later on in the day to kind of separate them, to really just so I go all out for both of them. But I always do. But I always prefer it, if you're doing it together, do it after. Don't fuck up with your weight training.
Yeah, I kind of do the same thing. I've been doing the Stairmaster before. I'll do it 20 minutes before, then do a whole weight routine. And then I'll either come back later in the day and do conditioning, or I'll try to get through it. It depends on what I'm doing that day. Like, if I have to wrestle or I have to train, like, I'm like, I can't really burn myself out. I need to keep some energy going.
Yeah, no, you have to. All that plays. Like, again, if it was the day of a pay-per-view, and I've done legs on a pay-per-view day before and stuff, but like you got to be careful. You have to make sure you're really, really in good shape, because if you do a hard leg workout and then you do a bunch of like burpees and box jumps and you burn your legs out, that could fuck you up later in the day. and
Yeah.
stuff. You got to be. It depends what your goals are. It depends if you're training heavy. If you're doing a lightweight circuit workout, then maybe doing hard conditioning before is not going to bother you. Everybody's different. There's no right or wrong way. It's what you prefer and what you find works best for you and what you got going on in your life, essentially. Because there's a million different theories and ideas out there. It's just taking a little bit of everything and mixing it and putting it into your own formula, so to speak. So,
All right. This one, I don't know if this is a good. We've talked about so many different things, versions of this from WWE NFL 1.
I got a question.
Let's try this again. If you could ever go back to WWE, what's one thing you would do differently?
I don't know if I went there. I always did everything asked of me. I feel I always kept a great attitude towards everything. I was always professional. I don't know. I think I had a relationship with Vince, and I trusted him, and I feel he let me down. So I don't really, it would. It's tough. I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know what off the top of my head. I always busted I always spent myself there, and I asked to do more and more stuff outside of the company, and it would. I think anything. And people always say oh, you're burning bridges down. I haven't burned any bridges down. You could talk about anything, and I talk about a lot of good there. I just share my truth with different things and my experiences there that I wasn't happy with, and things on the inside that I know about that people, fans, or whatever you want to call them, don't know, and whatnot. And I think it would ultimately come down to a conversation with Hunter and with Vince, whether probably separately, in all fairness, and anything can be rectified over time. But it's just something that's hasn't happened, and it would take a lot of trust, and I don't know if I have that with them necessarily with everything that's happened. So,
okay, what is from Paul Tomlinson on Twitter, Penguin Man 5000. What is a good carb cheat day that you guys do? And have you guys ever heard of an air fryer for wings?
Air fryer? I don't know if I've heard of that. Have you heard of that?
I've heard of that, but I've never really paid attention to it, and I kind of want to find out about that.
I'm going to Google it after this podcast, so thank you for that. Because I'm not familiar with that. I haven't really been doing the cheat days. I have my carb days. I've had to increase my carb days a little bit here because my training the amount I'm training has gone up with the conditioning and whatnot to get ready for my first matches back. But man, to me the ultimate cheat meal is pizza and wings.
Sure.
That's just the fucking.
No, I agree.
I don't know if it gets any better than that. Outside of, it would be nice to the pizza, wings, and getting drunk on beer would be the ultimate cheat. Mm-hmm. And waking up feeling like a fat piece of shit.
Which this is what I do every weekend. I do about 5 days of keto, and on the weekends, I'm at barbecue, and I eat most of the time I eat pretty clean, but there's some meals where I'm like, on the weekends I let my hair down, and and drinking is often on the weekends. It's part of. I've realized I really hate people like, oh, I don't drink, or judge people that drink. Like, it's part of my culture. It really is. Like, it's part of my the family I'm in now. Like,
yeah.
we drink. It's just part of us, and we're under control and everything. But on the weekends, I drink a lot.
Drinking is a weird thing, so you have to understand because there's people that can make a drink or two or have a few drinks every night and be totally fine, and it's a great way to relax and let your hair down, so to speak. But there's other people that it becomes addictive and becomes a problem where they become abusive, obviously. So everybody has a different example of how it affects them and whatnot. But it's a very social thing. Anything used responsibly, it can be okay. But again, if you take it to the extreme, you're drinking a entire bottle of Burnett's every night and falling asleep with a fucking dip in your mouth and
watching WrestleMania 6.
Yeah, just reliving those fucking past WrestleMania memories. Might have a problem. But if you could have a drink or two and just chill out and relax at the end of the night and just fucking enjoy life, that's the other thing. Bust your ass, work hard, set goals. You got to know when to let your hair down from fucking time to time.
I'm going to make a shirt of listen to this podcast, let your hair down.
Coming from the fucking bald guy.
Both of us.
Guys, just let your fucking hair down. What the fuck is the problem? That's what we do when we do this podcast. So we don't get drunk. Oh, I mean, we've had the past episode where it was a little extreme when we were doing 4 or 5 or 6 episodes a night. But we have a couple drinks during this. We chill out. We relax. It's fun. The fucking marks out there get their fucking sound bites for the week. Fucking from the most polarizing man in sports entertainment and the Buckster. It's a fucking good time had by all.
We just let our hair down.
Just
Last question.
I got a question.
And this will go nicely into our next part. Will Pat Buck ever get a win in the big guy court?
Ooh. They haven't looked good judging by the past, but I always said you always have a fighter's chance every time.
I do.
You do. So you're just going to have to stay tuned for the big guy's court in your main event tonight. Any more questions or?
Oh, I thought we were pausing there. I thought we were done with that segment. I thought you were going to break.
Wait, have you paused? Wait, are we still on air?
I didn't pause it. No, we're still on air.
Okay.
I was like, oh, he's being creative. We went to break without saying we're going to break. We're really professional.
Yeah, no, not at all. So do you want to go to break?
I think we should just go to break.
All right, we'll be right back after this.
Do you enjoy a crisp, refreshing soft drink, but hate choosing between the empty calories and the artificial sweeteners? Well, now you don't have to, thanks to Zevia. With Zevia, you don't have to worry about any potential harmful side effects since they have no caramel coloring and use the natural plant-based sweetener stevia. Zevia offers 14 different flavors of soda, 4 flavors of sparkling wine, and 4 different energy drinks. That gives you a ton of safer and delicious options for you to enjoy. It's the safest soft drink on the market, made with ingredients you'd find in your own kitchen. There's nothing artificial in any of their products, and there isn't any calories either. It's a miracle. Now, Zevia is giving our fans a chance to try it yourselves for free. If you live in the U.S. or Canada, just head over to Zevia.com/podcast and sign up. They'll mail you a coupon to try a free 6-pack just like that. Go to Zevia.com/podcast now and get your free Zevia. Enjoy the show.
The following advertisement has been paid for by the big guy Ryback. Are you hungry? You know I'm so hungry, big guy. Hey, Mark, what brings you here? So I'm just here to hang out with my all-time favorite superstar of all time. What brings you here? Well, I'm doing a paid advertisement for Feed Me More Nutrition, available at feedmemore.com. Big guy, that is music to my ears. Did you tell the people about your Ice So Hungry grass-fed whey protein isolate, the best tasting protein on the market? Wake Up Unlimited Energy, the strongest pre-workout on the market, and the Big Guy all-natural testosterone booster, my personal fave. Big guy, you're on to something with this Feed Me More Nutrition. It is some top quality stuff. Well, thank you, Mark. It is. Feed Me More Nutrition. Premium, quality, the highest quality supplements on the market today. Available now at feedmemore.com. But wait, there's more. Just for being a listener of Conversation with the Big Guy, you can now save 10%. That's right. Save 10% at feedmemore.com on all Feed Me More merchandise and apparel and Feed Me More Nutrition with discount code PODCAST10. 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 Thank you, guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following segment is your main event of the podcast.
And we're back, and I think at this time, it's time to go to court.
In the world of pro wrestling, there are great fans, and then there are fucking marks. Fucking marks are negative wrestling fans who have let the negative influences of life, society, and the media carry over to their consumption of pro wrestling. They are lost souls whom sole mission seems to make everyone as miserable as them. The following fucking mark is a real-life person whom has been blocked on social media by the big guy Ryback for making a shitty negative comment. Attorney Buck will defend this low-life piece of shit loser in hopes of the big guy Ryback unblocking and giving this fucking mark a second chance at being a great fan. Without further ado, welcome to the Big Guy's Court.
Please rise. The Court of the Big Guy Circuit, fucking Mark Division, is now in session. The Honorable Judge Ryback presiding.
Big Guy's court is now in session. Everybody please be seated. Attorney Buck, you may speak.
Well, Your Honorable Big Guy, we're back again in the Big Guy's court. Even though...
Hold on.
Your Honorable Big Guy...
Fuck, I miss doing that. You may speak.
Well, Your Honorable Big Guy, I'm here to represent... Even though you've retired, Your Honorable Big Guy, from Twitter, I am representing those that still wish to be unblocked from your former social media platform.
Understandable.
And they've contacted and enlisted me in their services to explain their situation, even though I believe your gavel just broke in half.
I was a little trigger happy. I haven't had this gavel in my hand. It just gets the blood going. I got it. I fixed it. We're good. You may proceed.
Okay, game on. So, Your Honorable Big Guy, my two clients, I actually have two cases for today. One of the norm and one of the not so norms. Let's start off with the relatively normal one.
This is pro wrestling we're dealing with. Is there really any normal?
Maybe not. Your Honorable Big Guy, I'm representing Andy Rogan and Gage Morgan.
Are you doing both cases at once on me, or are we doing one at a time, Attorney Buck?
There are 4 people I'm representing tonight. Two and two. So there's 2 cases.
You're double teaming
The
me on
first
both
are
of
for-
them.
Yes.
Okay.
You by 2 men will be double teaming you in both cases.
This
sir.
is you're coming
Your
at
Honorable
me.
Big Guy.
You've not came at me with this before. I don't know how to approach 2 men coming at me. Okay.
Keep that sound bite.
I don't know how to approach 2 men coming at me.
First off, Your Honorable Big Guy, my client, for some background. I don't know if you want their offense first or if you want some background information on that.
I would like the background information before you proceed with these fucking marks.
Okay, well, my first client is Andrew Rogan. He's 22 years old. He's from Glasgow, Scotland. He's currently studying sports science at Glasgow University. He has been a big wrestling fan his whole life, and believe it or not, he actually is a massive fan of the Big Guy. He follows Ryback on Snapchat and enjoys the stuff he puts out on his dogs and, of course, Mark for Life. He listens to the podcast every week, without fail, and him and the other client, Andrew, both discuss their favorite bits from the show. The reason he made the comments that he made to you actually, this was on Instagram, forgive me, I had that wrong, was because he recently just finished his exams. He went out for a few drinks, and he thought he was being clever trying to make fun of the Big Guy on Instagram, and he wanted to get a good reaction from Your Honorable Big Guy. He made the comments, and he is a huge fan of you. He hopes that you go back to WWE, and he hopes you beat the shit out of Brock Lesnar. He also has sobered up and would like nothing more than to be unblocked on Instagram. The other clients, Gabe Morgan, is 20 years old.
His buddy?
He's from his buddy, who is also blocked.
Okay.
From Glasgow, Scotland. He works in a call center and actually wants to become a professional wrestler.
Stay in the call center.
He is also a long-term fan and admirer of the Big Guy. And at the weekend, he is an admirer of the Big Guy, and he just watched the last man standing match between John Cena and Ryback for the WWE title, in which he thinks it's Your Honorable Big Guy's best performance, and felt that you carried Cena. The reason he made these comments,
the last man standing, by the way, by that. So technically,
was you in that one?
I was. It was a draw, but I was the last man standing. He got carried away in an ambulance, so I'm technically a former WWE champion.
I will go on here before I give the reason for their crimes. I think it's about the appropriate time to explain their crimes that led them to being blocked.
I would be more than happy to hear the offenses at hand. They seem like a couple of lads from over in the UK, and which I'm not sure if you know this or not. I am 70% English, so
I never heard that before.
And I could be sympathetic towards my kind. I know they like a good drink or two, and maybe they get a little wild when they get a little alcohol, get a little liquid courage running through their blood. So please proceed, Attorney Buck.
Okay. Your Honorable Big Guy, they have actually, to take their case further and hopefully beg for sympathy and bring them back to being unblocked status on Instagram, they've actually sent me the screenshot of the offenses, which your honorable big guy, you know that is rare in these sort of cases, that most do not keep the screenshot.
That is a whole other level of creepy stalker, but continue, Attorney Buck.
The first offense from Andy Rogan. He wrote to you on Instagram, to the big guy Ryback22, "You're so embarrassing." The other man, Gage Morgan.
What was it in reference to?
I think you'll understand after the next comment. Okay. Why don't you eat the Why don't you eat the apple, you fat dick? Is the next comment. So I believe it's over the apple smashing video on Instagram.
So that's more recent, but I don't even remember those because but rightfully blocked, I feel they were being offensive. I don't know why you would want to post something negative towards somebody to get a rise out of them. Oh, they're gonna enjoy seeing this. That just comes off being an asshole, which why would I want you in my life?
There was another comment in there, followed up.
They got multiple.
So they admitted multiple offenders, repeat offenders. Andy Rogan continued with, "You're," spelled Y-O-U-R. "You're a weirdo."
That
punctuation.
That alone makes me just want to keep him fucking blocked. That you don't know the difference between "your" and "you are."
"You're a weirdo, Ryan, my man."
Yeah, at least you said "my man," but I don't get it. I think that might just be a weird foreign thing that you get drunk and just talk shit. But I mean, if you've never met the guy and the guy doesn't know you, he doesn't understand where you're coming from. So you're probably better off not posting on social media. Is that all you have, Attorney Buck?
Not for this case. Your honorable big guy, I have been friends with many people from Scotland. They do love their beverages. They are known to get wildly out of control, fight with each other, and do stupid shit.
They love to fight when they're drunk.
Love to fight. They gave an explanation why they did such crimes. So the reason they made these comments on Instagram is because in their marky brains, and they write this, they thought that Ryback was trying to take a dig at Kevin Owens on a podcast, and it struck a nerve that's their favorite wrestler. One of them did not expect Ryback to see the comments, as you have 1 million followers, and really surprised and upset when he got blocked. He thought Ryback would just take the comment as a joke, which he obviously hasn't. He was also trying to show off and be cool because his friend Andrew made a comment, and now he realized that it backfired, and they massively hope Attorney Buck can win his first case on the big guy's court and get himself and Andrew unblocked. He wants to order some Feed Me More nutrition soon so he can have a great body like the big guy, and hopes to one day receive a meat hook from the legend himself.
I've openly said I'm a big fan of Arnold Schwarzenegger and just him, his work ethic and everything, and just especially later in life, everything, he just still continues to do a lot of good. I've never once felt the urge or the need to tweet him or send him a message on Instagram and or anything like that, and let alone would I send Arnold Schwarzenegger a message, "You stupid piece of shit, you fucking suck, you're an embarrassment to fucking life," just to get a rise at. I don't understand that mindset, just that whole take your time out and insult somebody that you like, and that they're going to understand that you're insulting them when they've never met you. That just tells me you're kind of immature. So I don't really understand that whole, they were just trying to get a rise, or we didn't think he would see it. Then why would you write it? Because other people are going to see it. So it looks like you're talking shit about me to other people, which encourages more people to talk shit. So you're not doing anybody any good. You're just all wasting each other's time. So I don't understand that mindset. Is that all you have with this one?
That is all I have.
I'm mostly keeping them blocked because they don't know the difference between you and you are. But Attorney Buck, the big guy, they're fucking blocked. It's just... I can't put up with fucking stupidity. God.
We'll wait till the next case. This is one of the more unique, maybe the most unique case we've ever had on the Big Guys
Might be
Court.
the last case we have on the Big Guys Court.
Oh, it might, dude. Excuse me, Your Honorable Big Guy. I will show respect in the Big Guys Court. These two, this is a different case in which you have to decide they're actually not blocked, but maybe you should block them.
Okay.
Or just, I guess that could be the verdict, whether they're blocked or...
Well, I don't have social media, Pat, anymore, so I don't know how I could block them. But I could always download it to find them and block them.
Yeah. And the two people, I have to give a little backstory, Your Honorable Big Guy, so let's just take it off from here, I guess, if that's okay.
Yes.
Okay, I'll proceed. Okay, so...
Proceed.
Mind you, on past episodes of the popular record-breaking podcast Conversation with the Big Guy, one of the hosts on the show, attorney Pat Buck, has made points to say in different, situations that there is a popular WWE wrestler that's a supporter of this podcast. And the reason why he knew that he's a supporter of this podcast is because he received Instagram messages and comments on his photos supporting the podcast from WWE Gable on Instagram.
Yes. Who has quite a bit of followers, right?
Who has, and I'll get to explaining that
Okay.
because it's a fucking crazy story.
Continue.
Who had approximately about, as of 2 months ago, roughly around 14 or 17,000 followers.
Yes.
Mind you, it's not a huge number for a WWE superstar, but maybe
For
it
a
would be
new
a
one.
reasonable number for a new one.
Yes.
So
And he's
Big
shorter,
Guy, the
so
two-
everything's always smaller with shorter people.
I believe
God
he's
damn
about
it.
heights.
That was from Vince, not me, guys.
Well, Your Honorable Big Guy, the two people on trial is WWE Gable and Pat Buck, and here's why.
Jesus Christ. You're putting yourself, you're okay. I was not expecting this one. The Gable one, I'm not, because we talked about when this whole thing happened, but I wasn't expecting you to throw yourself into this, but continue.
I have to throw myself into this because after this happened, I actually laughed about it, and I went, "Wow, I'm a total fucking, I'm a mark." So I'm on trial.
This is
So a little more backstory, Your Honorable Big Guy. For weeks on end, every now and then, maybe about once every 2 weeks, a funny comment would appear on one of my pictures, and I would give one back to them via Instagram to WWE Gable. In pro wrestling,
just-
there have been times.
I don't know why. I just thought of this reeks of from the big gay Ryback read on the Big Guy or the merch. I believe the Feed Me More merch with Tickles the manager. I don't know. I just feel really weird. It's like you tickle me, I tickle you. That just popped into my head as he commented on mine, so I commented on his. Keep going.
Well, here's the thing. I've had a couple friendships over the years where, hey, we're all in the same circle. It just, I don't know. It's like, for example, I'm good friends with Sam Roberts, and
He jerks you off, you jerk him off. One big circle jerk. I get it.
completely.
Okay.
We both get it. We both understand it. So I was like, okay, maybe this guy listens to the podcast, and I believe that because there is support from a lot of people that do listen.
Yes.
And but I thought it was a little interesting because I'm like, I never met this guy, and I don't think you have either. It's different time periods, as far as I know.
I believe we've crossed paths, I believe.
Cross
Yes,
paths.
but I was not there when
So-
he was there, obviously.
So I saw a couple comments, and I'm like, oh shit, this is actually the guy. It's not the guy, but let me continue on.
Please proceed.
So I got a message the other day, on July 8th, actually, saying that, I always get a lot of questions asking how I should start in wrestling. And I always send them towards Creative Pro. And I wrote back saying, thank you, man. We always appreciate the business.
This is from Gable.
And I continue. This is from WWE Gable to me, Buck Never Stops on Instagram. And, I was like, hey, thank you, man. We have a really good school here. If you're ever in the area, feel free to drop by. So I continue on this conversation for a while. And then I just noticed that there was a lot of questions about wrestling shows and about the podcast and about stuff he was pitching or like, oh, yeah, talking about guys in Northeast wrestling. And I went, oh man, something doesn't feel right here. And I look and I'm like, man, but he has a lot of followers. And then I was like, let me just Google to see.
You got fake fighting catfished?
I got fake fighting catfished.
Attorney Buck, there's nothing
So-
lower in life.
So mind you, let's keep this going. But then I go, oh God. And I look and I went, because you could see on Instagram who follows who, and no WWE people follow this guy. So I'm like, oh shit. And then I find the real one who doesn't really comment, and he has like 200,000 followers on Instagram.
Which is a lot
and
more
I could
credible,
see like,
much more believable.
exactly. And I went, oh fuck. I've been talking to someone pretending to be Chad Gable. So
Direct messaging,
we have-
back and forth, jerking each other off. Indirect.
pretty much. It was more about he asked me how Isabel's doing, and I said she's starving, and
You're talking to a fake catfish wrestler about your fake child. Do you understand, Attorney Buck, how ridiculous this entire fucking thing is
we
right
talk
now?
we talk about Ring of Honor a little bit, you know, we
Like two fucking marks talking about wrestling.
we talk about, you know, who he wants. He's like, oh, I would love to wrestle that guy from Ring of Honor. And I'm like, yeah. But then all these things. I'm like, wait a minute, hold on. And I kind of knew. I'm like, oh, fuck. So
Please,
He starts
please just keep going.
and then here's how it goes. So I think I put up a tweet or something kidding around about how you were going to address, the mean tweet episode. And I made a joke on Twitter, like it'll be 45 hours long. And then he just kept mentioning things about like marky comments. And finally, I realized that. And I said, hey,
What
man,
was the mark comment that you really realized between talking about your fake child and fake fighting and Ring of Honor? And where did you realize that this guy possibly could be not real?
He wrote, you guys should do a 24-hour long episode like you tweeted. Could you imagine it? Kenny Omega versus Ryback. WrestlePro 2017. Make it happen. Ryback comes up short. Kenny Omega offers him a spot in Bullet Club. Pat Cena comes out and begs him not to. And I'm like, that was it. And then
Jesus
Ryback beats the
Christ.
shit out of Cena with a chair and joins the two Sweeters and Mark crowds. Book it, Pat. And I said, hey, man, look, someone smarted me up. I know this isn't Gable. You got me. Well done. Take it easy, man. And he wrote back, to his credit, my faults, just trying to help some people.
Who the fuck
I'm
is he
getting
trying to
uncomfortable
help?
Here we go. And I go, by pretending to be a wrestler? He goes, no. Maybe you don't know. Maybe you do know, maybe you don't. But a lot of people hit me up for, look for attention. They hit me up and they always hit up wrestlers and athletes with stories of being bullied, wanting to get into wrestling, and thinking about taking their own lives. And many WWE superstars don't answer these messages. So it feels good to inspire them, no matter if I'm real or not, and make them feel better about themselves.
Jesus.
So the goal, he says, the goal was never to make people think I was Chad Gable. 18 months ago at this time, I had 175 followers, and I was doing leagues. I don't know what leagues is. I guess it's like fake fighting. But his popularity rose, and then so did my account, and I realized people needed help. I don't use this account to talk to wrestlers. Well, obviously not. You being an exception because I had questions about promotions. I use this account to help people. And I'm like, so you're like a fortune teller. You're kind of like Miss Cleo. And he goes, I don't know what you mean. I don't do this for bad stuff. I just hope that the message is clear. And I go, so who are you? He goes, I am a teenager from New York that now resides in North Carolina. I go, are you in training or are you just a fan? He says, I'm in training. It's more gym work than wrestling, but I've been to the high spots by George South a couple of times. I'm not training yet. That's the goal. I just don't have the time. I've moved in 3 weeks ago. I would love to go to Cap if I was old enough or if I live close. I ask, how old are you? I'm going on 15 in a few weeks.
So I'm just going to... Go ahead.
And I believe you say you only take 16 years old and up if you have a waiver from parents. And my parents are too big, aren't that big into wrestling. And he goes, where's this information going? And I said, a possible segment on the podcast. He's like, oh shit, you guys are going to record this? I said, I go, how do you plead? He goes, oh, I don't like this big guy's court anymore. And that's pretty much where it wrapped up.
So what I'm going to say about this, because this is a very serious matter, I believe he has a good heart and that he is.
I think so too.
But the best thing that this guy can do is to be himself and to help people being himself. If that's something that he truly feels is an issue, you put your picture on Instagram, you hold yourself accountable, and you reach out to people being you, and you create your own brand and your own identity being you. You don't do something to deceive people and to trick them because you think that is being a good guy. You be you, and you fucking help people being you, because you don't know, 20 years from now, you might be the greatest thing fucking going. So don't try to deceive people because they're going to get angry over that because you're not who you say you are, and you don't do that shit. So fucking grow up, be a man, be a fucking man, and be yourself and help people being yourself, because there's a lot more benefit to that than doing what you're doing. And that's all I'm going to say on that.
And that's after that happened, I felt pretty silly, Your Honorable Big Guy.
Yeah.
And,
Attorney Buck,
wow.
you should feel very silly over this. This is an all-time low for the podcast. Probably listens too.
Probably.
No.
Well, but then again, I think people appreciate the fact that I'm admitting that a 15-year-old kid fooled me into thinking
Did
he
you,
was
Attorney
one of the
Buck, were
guys.
you jerking off at a 15-year-old kid? Jesus Christ.
Listen, pal.
Hold up. This is fucking an outrageous episode. Oh, my God. You told me you guys were jerking each other off. Attorney Buck, you were jerking off a 15-year-old.
Dude, no.
Wait.
I thought it was Chad Gable. I thought it was a grown man.
Order in the court.
Like
Order in the court. All right. This has gotten out of hand. We have broken character for the big guy's court, damn it. I have an announcement, Attorney Buck.
Okay.
I plugged it earlier in the show. A lot of thought has gone into this. I know the big guy's court is a huge hit with a lot of our listeners out there, but not having social media anymore, not using it because it is just a waste of fucking time. I'm not going to see these comments, so I don't give a shit. And I blocked a lot of people. It's over 5,000 people over my career on social media, on Twitter, not counting Instagram. But a lot of thought has gone into this. Since I'm not going to see it, and we do have cases where people are fans and do just like to talk shit, WWE Gable got off. He got off on this segment, Attorney Buck.
Oh, he got off, yeah.
He got off. I'm letting him off. He got off, however you want to look at it. This week, I am going to download the social media apps, and I am going to unblock everybody who has ever been blocked by the big guy Ryback, because then I am then deleting my accounts again, and I will never see their comments. So if you want it from the depths of hell, tell me what a piece of shit I am. I encourage you. I want you to, because I will never fucking see it. I will never know of your existence. I refuse to download social media. I'm going to open the gates of hell, because I'm going to be, while you guys are in one part of this fucking world, I'm going to be in a whole other universe. And so feel free to just fucking go wild. The big guy is unblocking all of you. That was my big announcement, Attorney Buck.
All right. So I guess, does that count as a win for me?
Not a win. Technically, I'm going to say you lose. I'm going to block you guys temporarily, and then I'm going to. I don't know if I can block. I can't block you.
Yeah,
you are exempt from that. But WWE Gable will get blocked and immediately unblocked, and then I will unblock everybody else, because I am a fair man. I'm letting you. I'm not going to see it. I'm the most polarizing man in sports entertainment, Attorney Buck, and the people deserve to know what is going on in my life. I just don't give a shit what's going on in yours.
And that concludes the big guy's court.
Fuck, that felt good. All right, anything else you want to get out there before we close it?
You can follow me. You can catfish me on all platforms at Buck Never Stops. If you want to pretend to be a wrestler, hey, shoot messages my way. I'll fucking fall for it.
Chances are he's going to message you back and jerk you off. I am at Ryback22 on Twitter, at the Big Guy Ryback at the Big Guy Ryback22 on Instagram, and Ryback247 on Snapchat. Thank you guys for listening. You've just listened to another episode